All right. So this should be connected. We should be streaming. And so for all the VOD watchers, first of all, thank you so much. I hope you're here for a good time. We're going to be opening up some OP13 before the Hokkaido Championships tonight. I will try my best to leave timestamps of both when we start opening and when the Hokkaido Championships actually start. So I hope you stick around. Yo, what up, Neo Ness? How you doing? What's going on? What's good? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining. It's been a busy day for me. I've gotten so much done. Today, the OP14 set review video came out. And then spontaneously, I made another video on top of that with the EB04 reveal cards. We got our first EB04 revealed cards. If you happen to miss that video, make sure to go check them out on the channel. They're very cool. We were also talking about them a little bit in the Discord server. Link to join in the description below as well if you want to join that. And if you're on Twitch, you can do !Discord in the chat. But I did that. I got a new Black Friday Nen Garden promo video made, which was very, very cool. And I got the first episode of the Atrocious Watches One Piece series. I got that up on Patreon, the uncut version. I'm trying to think if I want to cut together multiple episodes. I think I'm going to cut together 1 or 2 episodes of the... Or maybe what I'll do is I'll record like 3, 4, 5 episodes and see how I want to cut it up that way for YouTube. Because if I'm going to be doing some React content for the second channel, but I'm going to be combining some episodes right together to make it not as many videos, I guess you could say. It also makes them a little bit longer, right? Because I'm only including the highlight part. So we'll see how it goes. Again, I hope everybody's having a good day. Thank you all for coming in. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to hit the like button on YouTube. For Twitch, make sure to follow as well. We've streamlined past 3,000 followers on Twitch, so I appreciate that, chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do have a couple OP13 boxes here. I got 2 boxes and 2 promo packs. So we're going to be opening those up here on the stream before the Hokkaido Championships. I think you guys kind of liked opening up those boxes last week, where we opened up those couple. So we're going to have probably about like an hour before the championships start. So I'm going to slide in a couple of these boxes because I really want to open them as well. And I thought it'd be cool to open it with you guys, you know, on the stream. Have some fun. But I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope for those of you, because I think treasure cups at your local stores started today. So I hope everybody that played in one was was able to play in one. And if you did play in one, I hope you did well. I was planning on playing in like 4 or 5 of them, the store treasure cups, but I think I have to drop like all but one. I'm just a little too busy. I didn't expect to be as busy as I thought I'd be. So I only have like 1 shot to get my treasure cup Sabo. It's going to be a toughie for sure. It's going to be a toughie for sure, chat. Oh. I have, so for anyone who is also curious, these are 2 boxes left in my case. These are 2 boxes from my case that we started opening last week. And as part of the project, I am opening up the last 2 now. To gear up and focus, because a big part of the project that I have for the case itself is going to be next Saturday. So basically like a week from tomorrow. That's going to be when the big motion for the project is going to be. Right now, I've just been doing like preparation stuff. And so next week, what I want to do is I want to really focus in and make sure that I'm ready to go for this event. Make sure I got all my ducks in a row. So figured we'd open up these right now. And I do know, because if you missed last week's opening of the 4 boxes, yo, what up, Haraz? Hope you're doing well. If you missed last week's boxes, you know that this is not a God Pack case, but it is a, so it's like a traditional One Piece case with leaders in it. We have pulled 2 alt leaders, so I'm pretty sure that both of these boxes have alt leaders in them. I'm pretty sure, because I've only seen 2 alt leaders in my case so far. So these should both be 3-hit boxes, which would be really, really nice. Yo, thank you, Haraz. There are still a couple hits that I'm looking for personally, in terms of like alternate arts that I haven't seen yet. I'm like good. I mean, I'm good on SRs. There's a couple secret rares I think I'm missing. Like I think I have 3 aces and 1 Luffy. And then if you watch the stream last week, we pulled a couple Sabos. So I'm kind of hoping for like, because I don't know if I can get a base secret rare. I could probably get a base secret rare in one of these. But the other one, I feel like it would have to be an alternate secret rare. And I'm kind of hoping that they're both Luffy's, because some of the decks that I want to try in OP13, they're playing the secret rare Luffy. And I have a video coming out next week of a bunch of OP13 decks that are not Emu, Zoro, Ace. And a couple of them, including some ones that I think chat is going to really like. A couple of them play the secret rare Luffy. So, anyways, chat, let's delay this no longer. I've been live for about 7 minutes. It's enough time. Let me turn off this music. Let's see. All right. All right, Chad. So as part of these boxes, if you do not know, you do get these promotional packs. It should be like 1 per booster box that you buy. And so these are the last 2 that I have not opened the fake cereal Luffy. So really hoping that in one of these 2 packs I get that, because that would be cool. But I think I should like almost have playsets of all of these, which is really, really nice. We got the Ace event. We got the starter deck Rush Luffy. And I know your Strong Soul go all out from the very start. Not in that one, unfortunately. But one more shot of these. These are the warm-up packs, chat. I'm just going to throw all the trash on the floor in my room. I think this top one is a Sabo. Oh, yes, it's kind of a Sabo. It's the event. It's not the character Sabo. I need the character Sabo, actually. There he is! Ask and you shall receive character Sabo right there. I think I probably have like 3 of them, I think. Enough. Yo, what up, TCG Teddy? Hope you're doing well, friend. Thanks for coming in. And our last shot at the fake cereal Luffy. Unfortunately, we don't get it, but that's fine. That's fine. All right, I got to keep these in 2 separate stacks. All right, chat. The first box. Tonight, chat, after we open these boxes, if you did not see from the title, the thumbnail, stuff like that, there is a Japan Championship happening tonight. It's the Hokkaido Championships. It is the final championship of the EB03 format, because OP13 released today in Japan. And so hoping that tonight's championship is going to bring some flair. I'm hoping that Vivi comes to the table. EB03 Vivi got a lot of hype heading into this format, but has really not done anything at all. Has been popular, but Hasn't done anything. So hopefully we see it tonight. Riffle shuffling the manga Sabo chat. Yeah, I know the Sabo is really nice for my Zanji. It's really nice for my Zanji. It's really nice for my Rosinante. So love to see the protection Sabo. But you know what, chat? I'm going to turn the music back on. Because I don't think I'm going to make these openings into a separate YouTube video. But still want to have the music going. Because I do like the music. Vivi's kind of rough versus Zoro. Yeah, but Zoro's like the third most popular deck. Right? If you can beat one of the two big twos, I feel like you probably have a fair chance in the format. We got Shaoria, Wapple, Know You're Strong, and ooh, geez, a hit off the rip, chat. The first pack magic. Woo! Boa Hancock, 3-cost Kuja Pirates, 7 Warlords of the Sea. A lot of people kind of talking about this card in OP13 Boa Hancock, right? Especially with that on KO effect, drawing 2 cards. This not only can work in Boa Hancock, but also other multicolored leaders, chat, to get that draw 2 on the on KO effect. It is a brick, though, but a 5,000 power 3-cost that can potentially draw 2. Not that bad. Not that bad. This card's also really pretty as well. I was kind of wanting this for my collection. Love the little heart foilings on there. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 chat. But there's still a couple hits that we can get in these boxes, chat, because if you did not remember me saying earlier, these are the final 2 boxes in that case that I bought, and I've only pulled 2 alt leaders in the case so far. So I think that both of these boxes are going to be 3-hit boxes. So what do you know, chat? Let's see if I'm right or not. Here's a leader pack. So nothing in there. You know what is criminal, though? I think it's criminal that this Trafalgar Law did not get an alternate art. This Trafalgar Law is so good. And it's Trafalgar Law, very popular, right? In the One Piece trade, or in One Piece in general, very popular character. So I was kind of shocked that he did not get an alternate art in this set. But I know that Sanji did, so maybe Sanji is the real reason that he doesn't have one. Sanji and Uta got the alternate arts for green. We got Boa Hancock, so the regular and the alternate art right there. Can't complain, can't complain. And Silver's Rayleigh, our first SR. One thing that I do really like is that one thing that I do really like in a case is that you get like multiple play sets of the SRs. So it's so nice. Yo, what up, Kraken? What up, Calcio? Oh, Calcio. So here's the timeline for the West. We will get OP14 and half of EB04 in January. We will then get EB03 in February, and then OP15 and the second half of EB04 will be releasing in April. So there's your timeline for those 3 sets. It's definitely a little confusing because it's completely different, yeah, than what is happening out east, and I know that confuses a lot of people. So yeah, OP14 and half of EB04 is coming out in January. Probably going to be like late January, I feel like, if I had to take a guess. I think it's going to be late January. Then EB03 comes out in February. I think it's supposed to be like mid to late February, if my memory is correct. Mid to late February. And then OP15 and the second half of EB04 is going to be, I think it's going to be like the first weekend of April, Like shortly at like April 3rd or something like that, I think it is. Goldie Roger as the lovely, lovely SR. A purple box, chat. Purple blue. I'm a Nami believer, ready for EB03 with your Nami buff. It's going to be a little bit, but once you get it, it's going to feel really good, for sure. I'm really curious to see how how Blue Yellow Nami exists in the format of OP14. Right? Because with the new OP14 leaders, a lot of people are hyping up Dracul Mihawk. A lot of people think that Dracul Mihawk is going to be the big new leader in the format. We got Uta. I like this SR. I want to play this SR in a couple different decks, to be honest. I want to fit this card in a lot of decks. Get your promo law ready. Oh yeah, the burn law. The like one of the first One Piece promos to come out. That's crazy. Yo, your friend opened a demon pack? That's crazy. I know a couple people that have pulled demon packs. I feel like the set is super high hit rate for stuff. Because, like, I know multiple people in my local area that opened fire mangas, the red mangas. I think 2 people pulled a god pack. Yeah, 2 people I know pulled a god pack. And then I know a bunch of other people that opened regular mangas, which is crazy. Oh, you see some people say that Nami is good against Mihawk. I haven't watched that matchup too much. I'm trying to watch some more matchup videos before I decide on what like my tier list for OP14 is going to be. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, like Nami without the shoujo girl is so tough. It's so tough. There was a demon pack at a sealed event you went to. I think there was one that our local area also had gone to. I think my friend FC pulled it at a release event. And I saw at another release event, my friend Josh pulled the fire manga, which is crazy. What? This is not SFW over here. No. This is not SF. This is SFW. This is safe for work. It's a meme. And it's my favorite card sleeves as well. It's my favorite card sleeves. I use them in my One Piece deck, and I use them in my Gundam deck. Obviously, chat, for official championships, I change sleeves. But it's funny. We got Vivi here, and Stussy. Wood. For Mihawk? I mean, I need to watch a lot more. And I also need to see kind of what the community decides on a build for Mihawk. Because I feel like I've seen a couple different like ways to play it, and I don't know which one's the best. I don't know which one's the best right now. No, she's fine. I mean, yes, some of her stuff is, but like this specific instance is safe for work. But yeah, she is not afraid to be sex positive, in my opinion. Yo, I'm glad that you got some trades, though, for the ones that you're looking for. Workery. Glad you got some trades for those. I'm still deciding if I want to trade my alts that I've gotten. Some of mine. Because I'm a collector at heart, right? I want, like, every single alternate art that I can get. Because I think they're cool. But it's hard, man. It's hard, man. Even in a case, I don't pull every single alternate art that I want. We got Vista here. Altar Yamato? Oh, Tenka Shanks. That's pretty good, though. Regular Tenka Shanks. For all the Lim players out there, that card's for you. That card's for you, Lim players. I'm trying also to not look at the bottom card to not get spoiled on a leader pack or not. Buggy. Oh, another Saturn. It's the second Saturn we pulled in like 3 packs. But chat, I hope everybody's having a good day. Thank you so much for coming in. And again, chat, after we open these 2 boxes, we will go into the Hokkaido Championships. They're scheduled to start at like 11 o'clock Pacific time. So we've got about an hour until they start. We got Hiyori on this one. Vista. Chat, do you play this Vista and Ace? Do you play this Vista and Ace, chat? I've seen some people play it. It's not very popular, I feel like, in the Japan Championships that we watch. But I've seen some, like, American players try it. Some of my friends are saying that they enjoy, like, it as a 1 or a 2 of. Right? I mean, you can find it off of Garp and Ezo. And then especially in regular Dawn. In whatchamacallit. Especially in Ace, you just draw a lot, so might be easy to find. Stussy, Yamato, and Tenbeard. I have not pulled a Tenbeard yet, or the Stussy. I have not pulled Stussy, Tenbeard, or Yamato for the alternate arts. That's crazy. Observation Hockey hit right here. Could be right. We're still looking for 1, maybe 2 more. Oh, but close. You got an SR, though. That's considered a hit to people. What was that? That's 6 SRs now? Dang, chat. With a hot start on the first pack, opening up an alternate art, we've kind of cooled off a little bit on this box. It's kind of cooled off a little bit. Let's see. Edison, St. Charlos. We got Shanks right here. See what we got. Oh, look at that. It's one of our leaders that I'm looking for, chat. Goldie Roger. Goldie Roger, the king of the pirates. Definitely one of people's favorite alternate leaders in this set, right? With his iconic laugh. Beautiful, beautiful card. I love the coloring. I love the shading, right? I love the lighting on this card, too. I think his skin really matches the, like, color of the red and purple. And especially with, like, his outfit and stuff like that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, chat. Yeah, close enough, Calico. All right. No, we knew, Sound Extreme, that there wasn't a God Pack in the case that I bought. We knew there wasn't a God Pack, but, chat, I will say, and I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, because you're going to have to watch the final video of the big project. But I'm okay that there wasn't a God Pack in the case, because I got something pretty cool. I got something pretty cool in there, chat. Yo, I want a mustache like that too, Houdini. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do not want a mustache, chat. When my facial hair gets to about like this, maybe a little bit longer, I shave it all off. I'm not a facial hair guy. I've tried it. I'm just not really a fan. Because we got a leader, chat, we know that there's 1 more hit in this box. So we'll try to find it. Garp right there. We still got 6 packs left, chat. Some of them upside down, some of them right side up. He's got a double-sided hard case. He flips to the side where... Oh, that's cool. That's funny. I'll show you after this pack. I also have a double-sided case for my leader. But right now I just have the regular version of Sabo and the alternate version of Sabo in it. We got Sanji right there. Sanji. And there's the third hit of the box, chat. It is Sabo Secret Rare. So, I think actually I opened up a whole playset of Sabo Secret Rares in my case. All right. Pretty good. Pretty good, chat. I opened up a whole playset, 3 alternates and one regular and 3 alternates. Or wait, no, 1 alternate and 3 regulars is what I've gotten. The sound loader Sabo alt, isn't that not out yet? I think I saw that what is it? Ace and Sabo. Ace and Sabo are the sound loader cards. But they're not out yet, right? We got Divine Departure and, ooh, Yamato. I think that's our final SR of this box. I'm going to actually kind of flip through these packs a little bit faster. Box heard you say Sabo. I mean, I did say that with the case, I wanted to get a playset of Sabos. Now, unfortunately for me, I got my wish come true, but I already... But after the 2 that we opened, I bought 2 more. And so now I have 2 extras. But that's okay. That's okay, to be honest. Nothing. You get both from the product? Oh, is it like a double pack sound loader? Because the Luffy and Enel one, the first ones that they did, it was split. Like, you had to buy each of them. All right, chat. I got to take a note real quick about what we got in this box. Boa. Roger, Leader. Sabo, SEC. And then we got the SRs was Yamato. Shanks. Stussy. Roger, Uta, Rayleigh, and the 3 bros. All right. Just had to make that note real quick. The Roger I'll put to the side because that's going in my binder. That's going in my binder. Ugh. One more box, though, chat. We got one more to open. Let's see. Nice. Glad I got the boa, though. The boa is real cool. All right, we'll put those there. And then... Dang, I'm going to have to see if any of my locals need the Goldie Roger Dawn. Because when you get two every box, and you get a case... I have so many of these now. Especially because I opened up some OP13 in Japanese. I got a ton. All right, chat. Second box. How are we doing on time? It is 10:11. Okay, so we got time. It's the final box of my case, chat. The final box of my case. I'm still looking for an alt Yamato because I want that card so bad. It is such a beautiful card. And what else am I looking for? Am I just looking for Yamato? Really? I guess I'm looking for my final leader. I guess I'm looking for my final leader. Whether that's Emu, Ace. The only leaders that I don't have are Emu and Ace. Because my buddy gave me his alt Sabo. I haven't pulled my Sabo from the case, but my buddy gave it to me. Can you use Japanese prints? So you can only use Japanese Dawn. Breezy. You can only use Japanese Dawn in, like, English tournaments. What you can do, though, Is my mic moving again? Or my camera? If you go to Japan, though, you can play with Japanese cards. But in English, you can only use Japanese Dawn. Your cards have to be in English. Or whatever the native language is to your region. But Dawn, international. I don't know why that's really a rule. Probably just because we're not on the same timeline and you want everything to be in the same language. But no, it hasn't started yet, Glenn. It hasn't started yet. Also, Purple Alligator, what's good? Yeah, I only have 3 leader alts in this case. I said at the top of stream that I think both of these were 3-hit boxes. That they were both going to be 3-hit boxes. I just haven't, what was I going to say? There's just a 4th leader that I'm supposed to get. And I haven't seen it yet, so it's got to be in this box. It's got to be in this box. But there's Jewelry Bonnie for the first SR. You failed to get the Tashigi? Wait, is there a Tashigi in this set? Is there a Tashigi in the... Oh, you're talking about the Treasure Cup. I was supposed to play in it today, Drew. But unfortunately, I got way too busy. Whoa! Ichi-ni-san. Yeah, arigato. Watch this, chat. Altard Emu leader. Tenka Shanks. This is pretty close. Hello, Raiders from Luffy TV. For anyone who's curious, maybe you don't know who I am the guy that always yaps about the Japan Championships. If you've ever heard my commentary. Right now, we are opening the final 2 boxes of my OP13 case before we watch the Japan Championships that are happening, the final Japan Championships of the EB03 format. I hope you're having a good day. Luffy TV, thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully your box was good. I got to stop in at the beginning, but then I got a little distracted. Had to read some Tokyo Ghoul while having you on in the background. But I hope everything was going well. Hopefully your games went well too. And I hope everybody enjoys themselves here. All right, what's behind here, chat? He ugly. He ugly. So the championships start at the top of the hour, German pilot. The Hokkaido Championships, the stream starts at the top of the hour, so the first game will probably be in about an hour and 15 minutes, I would assume. Usually it's like 30 minutes, I feel like, between the start of stream and the first match, the top 16 match. Ooh, Altart SEC Sabo, Bonnie and the Gold Roger Don, 3-hit box. 3-hit box. Love that. Sabo, my favorite. I did pull 1 Altart Sabo. I wouldn't mind another, but if I got 2 Altart Sabos in a case, that would be really weird, I think. Jupiter. Leader. Oh, no, but Papa Newgate. Still have not, in my case, gotten a alternate 10-drop Newgate. I didn't pull Yamato, and I didn't pull Newgate so far. But this, being the final box, and is supposedly a 3-hitter, chat, because I've only pulled 3 leaders so far in my case, there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance, buddy. Saying there's a chance, buddy. Oh, you lost to Rico in the last round, Drew? I mean, he's good. Did he draw twice off ace leader effect? I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Scooper McGabbin, chat. This is my favorite One Piece character for anyone who does not know. Scooper McGabbin. That's his name. Don't question it. Don't think about it. I don't trust anyone who says Sabo is their favorite. I have not seen One Piece, chat. I will be transparent. I have not seen One Piece. I am just a big fan of Sabo decks. I played the original OP05 Sabo. I played the starter deck 10 Sabo. And now I'm playing the OP13 Sabo. So chat, the only reason that I like Sabo so much is because I like playing Sabo decks. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Oh my god, this guy again. Chat, get this ugly mug out of here. Get this guy out of here. Although, Hayakin Serena, the illustrator for the Warcury, fantastic. I love Hayakin Serena. One of my favorite illustrators in the One Piece trading card game. No, I know you have the wanted Sabo. You post it in the buy-sell trade all the time, Drew. But I will not. I will not. Because I don't have that kind of money. Yo, what up, Carlos? Carlos is a trader, by the way, chat. Carlos stopped playing Sabo for Smoker, of all things. Criminal. Yo, Luigi. Hey, Luigi, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Hokkaido chat. The stream for Hokkaido should start at about 11 p.m. Pacific time. So, in about 40 minutes. But the first match, the top 16 match, will probably be somewhere around 70 minutes from now. About 70 minutes. Sabo, a real one. No, it's supposed to be Scopper. But I call it Scooper. Because I think that name is cooler. Chat, I haven't watched One Piece. I don't actually know how to say their names. I know he got the wanted Sabo, but I bought a case. I can't afford the wanted Sabo. Chat, I quit my job to go full-time content. I took a heavy pay cut. I bought a case. I don't have any more excess income for the rest of the year. Let's see. And so, chat, if you're enjoying the stream, one, make sure that you hit like on YouTube. Helps people find the stream. And if you're on Twitch, make sure to hit that follow button. We stream all the Japan Championships and most openings that I do here on the channel. And sometimes some other things. Smoker is not going to be that good in OP14. I don't know what you're smoking, but it ain't Smoker. It ain't Smoker. Oh, look at that, chat. We got our final leader of the case. It's Portgas D Ace. So we did not hit the Emu leader, but we got the nice, beautiful ace. I will take it. I will take it. A gorgeous looking card. A gorgeous looking card. That means I only need one more alt-art leader, chat, and unfortunately it's Emu, but when they ban Emu in 2030, it'll be cheap. It'll be cheap. Somebody cue the air horn. Gotta leave Kikunojo, my beloved, right here. Visible. My queen. SP Sabo in the next pack. I actually pulled SP Sabo in Japanese. So I don't want him in this box because I already have him. So if I get an SP, I hope it's a different SP. I have only seen 2 SPs, chat. How many SPs do you get in a case? I've only seen 2. Should I be getting an SP in this box, chat? For all my nerds out there, if I've only opened up 2 SPs in a case so far, should I be getting one in this box? Kiku Abadi, I know she's wonderful. She's beloved. She's gorgeous. I haven't seen her yet in the anime, but I love her. Manga in the packs. You're playing Croc. I want to play Croc so bad, but I also want to play Doflamingo, but I also want to play Jinbei. OP14 looks like a lot of fun, but I'm gonna try my best to focus on OP13 until after Pasadena, Because after Pasadena, I'm going home for the holidays. So, I'm going home for the holidays for a couple weeks, so I really won't be playing in events at all. So after Pasadena, I'll probably start practicing for OP13. Oh, you only get 2 SPs in a case? Okay, then I don't think there's an SP in this box. I trust you guys on that one. 3 brothers. That's our 4th SR. You think you get 3, 4 SPs in a case? I would love to get a 3rd. It doesn't sound like I'm asking for much, right? If I ask for a 3rd. Ugh. But Ace here said you deserved it. Roll ja. Ooh, good luck in your treasure cup tomorrow. Any tips for your green Zoro? Just make sure you know your matchups and like what cards are the best. Think about what the best play for your opponent is. That's the biggest thing. I mean, just try to don't overthink it too much. Right? Typically the first thing that you think of is the correct play. Because that's like the muscle memory. You know? Oh, can you not pull SPs in a leader box? I have no idea, to be honest. A God Pack would be great. It would be great. And it would also be crazy if we open up a God Pack, because it should not happen in this box. Because we opened up a leader in this box. So in theory, there is no God Pack at all. But if there's a God Pack, chat, we have to tell everybody. We have to tell the whole world if we got an error box that had a God Pack. Zoro. Oh, yeah. Fidelico TCG, he has a really good guide on Zoro. He's played a lot of green. Yo, what up, Marry Me? I'm doing good. I was super productive today. I did like 3 videos. And now we're streaming. My productivity on this Friday is at an all-time high. The Don. Don. Got to put it right here. Yo, congrats on 5th, though, Pulp. That's still good to celebrate. I know you missed the Tashigi, but congrats on 4th. Or, I mean, 5th. That's still good. Top 5. Oh, does Skepus and Dog Wisdom have a video together on that matchup? I have no idea. Gum Gum, Dawn Stamp. When's the CS going to start? Probably in about 60 to 70 minutes. The stream doesn't start until the top of the hour. Thank you. I designed this Kiku playmat myself. I'll give you guys a full view of the playmat once we're done with this opening. I think we got an SR in here, chat. I did a little sneak peek. Yeah, no leaders in the case is a God Pack, yes. Ooh, 5 elders. Nice. Good SR. Good SR. Not good for pre-release, but good for having a play set. Oh, you played Zoro Sanji? That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, they did a best of 7 stream. I'm going to have to watch that. I don't remember that. Was that like before the set came out? Maybe I actually do remember seeing something about that, but not having the ability to watch at the time. Chat, we've got 7 packs left. 7? Yeah, 7. 7, 6, 7. Isn't that what the kids say nowadays, chat? 6, 7. We're still looking for 2 hits. I would honestly love a secret rare Luffy in these packs. Because I only have one. And I need more than that. I need at least 2. So there's Roger. Oh, it was last week. Oh, man. I am so out of date. I am so out of the loop. Oh, it's part of the King of the Hill stuff that Chinos is doing. Yeah, usually they do that like in the weekend or later in the week. I'm usually pretty active in Chinos' chat at the during the week in the like during the Chinos Cups. But the King of the Hill stuff, I'm usually pretty busy on like weekends and whatnot. Red Manga Luffy, man, if we get Red Manga Luffy, I'll sign it and personally send it to you. On God. Oh, but that was close, right? Uta. I think that's our last SR of this box. But yeah, you have my word, Zez TCG. If it's red Luffy, it's yours, and I'll sign it. Just for you. Just for you. Bonnie and a Dawn. I already got my 2 gold Dawns, so I knew there wasn't gold Dawn in here, chat. Dang, we got like 4 packs to go. No alts yet. Come on. Napoleon. We got Sunny Kun. Yogo. 6 to 7 SRs. Well, that is 7, so we're definitely out. Oh my gosh, Ace. So that means of these 3 packs here, 2 of them are hits. Chat, which one do you think does not have the hit? Go 1, 2, 3. Do you think 1 doesn't have the hit, does not have the hit? 1, 2, or 3? No, it's not 8. There's never 8 SRs in a box. I don't think 8 ever happens. I think it's either 6 or 7. I think it's either 6 or 7. Secret Rare Ace and an Altar Yamato. I hope it's not Secret Rare Ace, because then that would mean that I have a full playset of Secret Rare Aces. And I need Luffy's. I need Luffy's. I got a lot of middles, got some ones, got some far rights, some left ones. All right, we're going to do the middle. We're going to do the middle. Let's see what the middle has. Oh, I could get an alt Secret Rare. That is true. Alt Secret Rare Ace. Would be nice. Have you seen the abs on the alt Secret Rare Ace? Oh my God. He's what I dreamed of being. Dang. Yeah, this box should be a triple hitter, Haraz. I'm just holding you guys out until the end. All right, chat. Whoever guessed 2 was correct. Chat. What's the cooler hit? The left one or the right one? What has the cooler hit, left or right? We'll open up left first, but which one has the cooler hit? The last 2 packs of the box have to be hits. They have to be hits. Kraken, you say right? Potential Airbox LOL. Airbox Leader Pack? Or Airbox God Pack? You think left? If we got Manga Ace, I would actually go crazy. If we got Manga Ace, I would go crazy. Left with a regular manga? You guys are huge on the manga. You guys really think I'm going to get a manga? Alt Newgate? Dang, I hope so. That'd be cool. Right? Just like my Twix bars? Yeah, wait, Chad, do you guys do the left Twix bar or the right Twix bar first? Also, Utah, J Hall, Frog in a Wall, what's good? How are we? Left has a cooler hit. We're going to do left first. Double demon pack. Can't be a manga because manga would make it a 4-hit box. Wait, what? No, that's impossible. Dang, it's not a god pack, chat. Not a god pack, but there's some there's a chance. Yo, what up, Funk? Junker Queen, what's good? Bite both at the same time. What we could do, chat. No. Oh, you bite both at the same time on your Twix bars. All right, chat, we got a Garp. Chat, this is Altar Yamato right here. Oh, secret rare Luffy. It's a base secret rare, but I did say that I wanted a secret rare Luffy out of these 2 packs. So I can't complain. Yo, what up, Mikey? How are you? I can't complain. Because I did ask for this. I did ask for this. All right, Chad, that was the first one there. Yo, what up, Naisu? I think that means I have 2 Luffys, so I need to get 2 more. Yo, Poop Butt, what's good? Good name. We're gonna slow roll this one like crazy. I know Zanji cards. I need them. I know, Squash. Leader Ace. Very good. Zanji stonks. All right, chat. This is an alternate art. Final chances, chat. What do you think this alternate art is? We have only gotten 2 hits out of this box. And since it's a leader box, we know that this is a guaranteed alternate art because this one was a base secret rare. What do you think this is? For those of you that will guess in the chat, I will tell you if I pulled it in my case or not. This is the final box of the case. Yo, Golden Gad, what's good? Yamato? I hope so. I haven't pulled Yamato. I have not pulled Yamato. Shanks? I have not pulled Shanks. Have not pulled Newgate. I've pulled an alternate Sabo. I have pulled an alternate Sanji. I've pulled an alternate Garp. I've pulled an alternate Lilith. I've pulled a alternate Warcury. Not a Bonnie, though. I have pulled the Worm. I have pulled the, who is the Worm? Jupiter. I've pulled the Jupiter. I've already pulled the Boa. An Altar Gorosei. I have pulled 3 of the Gorosei alternate arts and the 10 drop. I'm missing 2 of the 5 of the Goroseis, but I've pulled 3 of them in the 10 drop. I have not pulled Mars. Stussy, I have not pulled Stussy. Manga or alternate art or something. Pita, the horse. Have I pulled? No, I've pulled the horse because that's Nuzjuro, right? I've pulled Nuzjuro. I've pulled Nuzjuro, Warcury, and Jupiter, I think. You think same Marcus Mars? Event alternate art? I have pulled a Divine Departure already. I've pulled Divine Departure. We're watching the tournament here in a sec. The tournament isn't starting for at least another 30 minutes, Utah. So we're doing the opening first before the tournament starts. I've seen hundreds of cases pull only 4 alt Gorosei. I've never seen a case open all 5. I've seen a case mostly only open 3. It's the Bird Elder Mars Saturn right here. It could be Saturn. It could be Mars. Here we go, chat. Behind the Saturn. Could it be another Saturn? Oh, who said alternate art? Ace. Somebody said it in the chat. You are the winner. Look at those abs, chat. Oh, this was the ace box. Wait a minute. This was the ace box. Yo, what up, Hunter? This box? 3 aces. That's crazy. Or, well, 2 aces. One of them is Luffy, obviously. Nice. I'll take it. I'll take it. Got the alt leader that I'm looking for in ace. Now I only need Emu as a leader. You opened 3 guys on your case and the 5 elders. That's what I did too. I opened 3 individual elders and then the 10 drop. I opened the 10 drop. Yo, Zebulon, what's good? Luffy is ace confirmed. Ace leader. Ace SEC. Luffy SEC. And then we got Uta. Elders. Roger. 3 bros. Newgate. Shanks. And then Bonnie. All right, chat. Let's put him in the box. Let's put him in the box. Put Ace off to the side because he goes in the leader binder. Manga cards take the place of an AA, and on a 3-hit box, whenever you get a regular SEC, it's a manga chance. Oh, I did not know that. I have pulled like 2 alternate or 2 SECs before in a box, one being a alternate art. I've done that before. That's happened to me in One Piece. Got to put these right there. And then into the box we go for the project, the big project. The Hokkaido CS Monkey D Angel is in, it probably starts in about like 30 minutes. The stream will start in less than 30 minutes, but the actual matches themselves will probably start a little more towards like 30 to 45 minutes. So it's going to be a sec. All right, chat, for all of you that are curious about my playmat that I designed. Yo, Ghost! Thanks for following. Appreciate it. Let me show you guys my playmat. First off, I have to get these Pokemon ETBs off. Okay. Chat. This is the Kikunojo Okiku playmat that I designed. Right here. I made this playmat. I made this image on Photoshop, and I took like manga panels, some anime pictures too. Like this one's an anime picture, this one's an anime picture, but mostly manga panels of her, and then her card right here from OP06. But I designed this, and I love this. So, yeah, that's my playmat. It's not for sale or anything. Although, if you guys want, I can post in Discord. I can send the image file so you guys can make, like, custom playmats if you want. Just let me know. Also, chat, real quick, because I got to set the camera back up and change the area. I am real quick going to throw it to an advertisement on Nen Garden because Nen Garden's starting their Black Friday deals. I'm going to play that real quick, and I will be right back, chat. Hold on to your butts. I'll be right back, probably in about like 60 seconds. Listen, if you've seen my videos or you've maybe seen me at an event, I love Nen Garden playmats. And especially with Black Friday, now is an insane time to get your very own playmat. Or maybe a gift for somebody else. All of the standard playmats are going to be cut at a discount. And not only that, you've got stickers, pins, apparel, that's also going to be discounted on the website. And these discounts are already so good, and you know I've got a code there for a discount of your own, but it's actually been bumped up to 10% to help you save even more on this Black Friday. Make sure to stack up the savings and get a great gift for either yourself or somebody else this holiday season. The link to Nen Garden's website where you can get your next favorite TCG product is in the description below. Thank you so much to Nen Garden for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to that video. Hello, chat. Welcome back. Did you enjoy that Nen Garden ad? Let's play the music back. There we go. There we go. Why not put the alternate Kiku on the mat? I don't know. I just felt like putting the regular. I just felt like putting the regular on the mat. No big reason. Yo, Alonzo, what's good? Are we expecting any reveals tonight? No, Squash. I don't. I think it would be silly for them to reveal anything EB04, because for anyone who does not know, today is the release date of OP13 in Japan. So it'd be weird if they advertised, in my opinion, it'd be weird if they advertised a future set when they, if anything, just want to advertise the set that came out that weekend. In terms of a marketing perspective. Oh, I mean, there's so many good alternate arts of Kiku Nojo. I just put the regular one on there. Probably because that's all I owned. I did not own any alternate arts. Maybe more starter deck stuff. If anything, they do starter deck 29. But what, like, when does... I don't even know if One Piece, TCG, Asia, I don't even know if they have... Oops, this is the English one. I don't even know if they have... Yeah, they don't even have, like, the starter deck here yet. Maybe, if anything, like, they showcase this... These sleeves are gorgeous, by the way. Maybe they show off these sleeves at the event. I don't know. But they don't even have starter deck 29 here, so I don't know if they would reveal it personally. Yeah, Jay Hall, I can explain the release schedule. So, chat, for anyone who does not know, Japan has a different, Asia has a different release schedule for the next couple sets than we do. For the West, OP14 and half of EB04 will be coming out at the probably end of January. It's supposed to be in January. I think personally it's going to be at the end, kind of like the last couple weeks or so of January. That's going to release. Then in February, probably somewhere like mid to late February, EB03 is going to release, about a month later from OP14's release. Then OP15 and the second half of EB04, right? Because they're feeding one half of EB04 into OP14, they're feeding the other half into OP15. That is going to release like the first couple days of April out in the West. So we're not going to get like an EB04 booster box or anything like that. Japan will, pretty sure. Japan will probably get a booster box and a whole design and a whole pack art of EB04, but we are not. The West is not. It is going to be combined inside of the OP14 and OP15. We'll get 3 colors in OP14. I think it's, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's green, blue, and purple. And then in OP15, we'll get red, yellow, and black. But yeah, EB03, you're going to have to wait a while. You're going to have to wait until February for EB03. So that means, chat, that the next couple of formats that we have are going to be unique formats comparatively to Japan. Yes, correct, J Hall. If you watched the video that I posted today, the couple cards that were revealed from EB04, those are some of the cards that are going to be inserted in OP14. Yo, what up, Lancelot? I don't think OP13 is a bad meta. I know it's relative on whether you like a lot of decks in a format or if you like a small percentage of decks in a format. They cater towards two different audiences, in my opinion. I think that this meta rewards skillful play for sure, but I will say it's not as cool as skillful play with a wide open, you can play anything you want kind of meta. There's like two different kinds of skill play, right? There is skill play where like I am the best player in the game, right? Because everybody is kind of playing the same decks and I am the best player in the game. But there's a different kind of skill in I picked this one deck. I am very good with this deck that nobody can play this deck like me, in a sense of like, and some of it has to do with, you know, I mean, there's variance in both sides of the coin. Like in a wide open jungle meta, you have to hope that you don't hit certain matchups, right? Whereas in a more condensed format where there's only 2 or 3 decks that a majority of people play, there's the variance of, you know, die rolls, which are much more impactful. So it really just depends on like what kind of player you are, in a sense. Because I know a bunch of top level players that hated the OP12 format, that did not like the OP12 format. But I also know a lot of players that hate the OP13 format that the top players love, you know, so it just depends. We don't have any official word, J Hall, on when simultaneous release is going to happen. We only know that it's happening in 2026. There is no official confirmation of a set or a date. Just that it is happening in 2026. All right, chat, live stream started. I'll keep it on this screen for a little bit longer. Keep it here a little bit longer. I love playing Ace and Sabo. I don't care if they're the best decks. They're very fun. Exactly. Like, some people just enjoy the decks in the format. There's no, like, wrong answer, in my opinion, right now of whether this format is good or bad. I think it's all personal opinion. So, Breakers, there's not necessarily international events. It's not like Pokemon, if you're familiar with Pokemon, where like Japanese players can go to the Latin America International Championships this weekend and they can play in them. It's kind of separate. It's separate formats and separate tournament structures that can join for the World Championships. No, I thought Anime Villain, they only said that rotation was happening in April. I could have sworn that it was only rotation was happening in April, not global simultaneous release. Because I thought they just said in 2026. I mean, I could be wrong about that. If anybody has like the link or whatever. Yeah, I know rotation is happening April 1st in 2026, and that is global simultaneous. Like, I think, at least for, I don't know what, like, Korea's doing. Korea or China. I don't know what they're doing. But I know for like the Japanese meta, Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, like that Eastern region and the West, rotation is happening for both of us on April 1st. But syncing up entirely, I don't think is going to happen on April 1st because they get OP13 in like February, I think. And we're supposed to get OP15 in April. And that's a little bit too wide of a gap to conjoin on OP16, in my opinion. I think it's going to be more like OP17, OP18. Personally, but that's just my guess. That's not factual information. Yeah, Purple Alligator. We've had plenty of unique metas. Is there a big event where the best players... Yes, there is a World Championships, yeah. There are different tournaments throughout the year where you qualify for the World Championships in your region. And so... yeah, all of the players will conjoin for the World Championships, and they will play a specific format that is set by Bandai. I know, we need that McDonald's promo. I thankfully have all the cards for Sabo. Thankfully. So, it's interesting. So, my content chat, when I do these reviews, I only do non-English championships. I will talk about stuff like the U.S. championships, the different treasure cups happening over the weekends, the regionals that happen, but I will mostly do them not in a commentary role. I will do them as more of like, here are the decks that did really well. Here is like the winning deck, stuff like that. I'll cover like that kind of stuff on the English championships because the way that copyright works. So I do the Japan championships because I bring English commentary to you guys, right? I bridge a gap between people who don't know Japanese or I guess the Japanese championships and people who don't know Japanese. In English championships, you have English casters that cast the matches that I cannot provide anything different than what they do. So I don't do those championships because that feels like I'm stealing their work in a sense. Now, you could argue that I bring a higher quality, and that's your opinion. I don't agree with that because I think there are some great casters in the One Piece trading card game on the official crew. But that's not what I mean by like quality that's different. If that makes sense. That's kind of like a long-winded answer, but like I'm trying not to get Bandai to take down my channel because they probably could if they wanted to. They do stream the English championships. Usually like Eggman does a lot of them. There are plenty of other, I think Luffy TV has done some championships as well. There are a lot of them. Yeah, Black Croc looks really cool. I'm excited to see how that does in the opening weeks of OP14. Because I think that deck is going to be real neat. No, I'll be watching them, Squash. I'll be watching all the English regionals. Like Miami's this weekend, I'm going to be watching that. But I will not be... If I commentate over it, it will be my own practice. But it will not be like what we're doing right now on like a live stream. Oh yeah, Breakers. They have a in the Japanese streams, they have a specific table built, and you're not allowed to like constantly have the cards in your hand. Like the way that their thing is set up, they have a specific table built to showcase your hand. None of the English championships really do. Except for the World Championships, because the Japan Championships are like a full-scale production, crew, you know, lighting, talent, engineering, stuff like that, where the English Championships are usually grassroots, to where like it is a guy that has a computer and a camera and some headsets, and Bandai does not touch it. Bandai does not fund it at all. Where the Japanese Championships and like the Malaysia Championships and like a lot of the Asian region championships, I think those are like funded and produced by Bandai. I know these are, at least. So it's hard. I don't think cheating has anything to do with the Zebulon, with like how the tables are. It's just a viewer experience, right? Like the Japan Championships, they want to be able to look into the hand and know exactly what the cards are, you know? Yes, One Piece Card Game Central is very, very good. I think like Chinos, like he does it, like they have a good group of guys on One Piece Card Game channel or Central. But I wouldn't say other I wouldn't say other channels get away with it. That's not really like the right thing to say. It's just that if like I won't name any names, but I know that there are some tournament organizers that will send a DMCA if you watch party their championship. And they have every right to do so, right? Because you're taking their content. If the Japan Championships wanted to, they could send me a message and say, hey, stop doing this. And I would have to respect that. I have talked to them before, like they're like the first World Championships chat, for anyone who does not know. I asked Bandai at the World Championships, I said, hey, I run this channel, I practice commentary because I want to join the commentary cast eventually someday. Do you give permission for me to do this? And they told me no, and so I didn't do it. So I do not poke the bear. That's the best way to put it. I do not poke the bear. Now, is it likely that if I stream, and there are some people like Eggman. Ooh. The stream is starting, chat. All right, here we go. Oh, gotta get the starting soon out. Like, there are some people like Eggman is a really good example. Eggman personally told me that any of the streams that he does for championships, I can commentate over them and get some practice for commentary. That is his permission for me to do that. I do not have permission from any of the other English, at least, English tournament organizers. Yeah, like the World Championships was in English, which I think is a big reason why they said no to me. But I am respectful, chat. For anyone who does not know, I studied the First Amendment in college. And I know that many content creators break some rules when they do that, but it's all about if that tournament organizer cares that they're breaking the rules. Some of them don't care. Some of them don't care. And that's perfectly fine. So these championships, there are not very many pro players, J Hall. I think there's probably only like 2, 3, 4 pro players in the world for the One Piece trading card game. And usually most all of them are like content creators on top of playing the game. There's not like Magic the Gathering where there's like legit pro players. There's maybe only a couple of those in the One Piece trading card game at most. But these championships, these are championships that I think people qualified for through like local flagships and things like that. I think these are either qualified. No, actually, I think these are lottery chosen ones because then they qualify for the Area 2 finals if you come out of this championship at a decent spot. So, I mean, these in this tournament, it's people like you and me playing the game, trying their best. And then later in the season will be the area finals. If I understand that correctly, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think these entries are lottery based in these championships. And then they'll qualify later for the finals. Let me see. Hokkaido stream has begun. Why is I think Twitter's broken. Okay, I fixed it. I got to get my Paint app out to screenshot the top 16 cut. I got to screenshot the top 16 cut. Let me get the hashtags ready. Top 16 breakdown of the Hokkaido CS. 275 players? Is that real? Is that actually, chat? Only 275 players? That's so low comparatively to what they've been doing. Yeah, these are equivalent to regionals. These are equivalent to our regionals that you just watched like last weekend is Treasure Cups, which is basically like a regional. Chad, this is the same Sabo that you get for winning the Treasure Cups. Yo, what up, Steak Frank? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for sending that posting, by the way. All right, Chad, so this is the deck distribution of the entire tournament. You got 26% Ace, 21% Emu. Not very surprising, but no other decks eclipsing 10%. Roger having a pretty good showing. I think 9% alongside Zoro, 7% Sabo, 7% Blue Yellow Nami, 4% Blue Purple Luffy, 3% Green Bonnie, 3% Vivi, 3% Green Red Luffy, 2% Yamato, and 1% Rayleigh in this tournament. Well, they've been doing season 2 tournaments all like these last couple weeks. These last couple weeks have all been season 2. Or is this the hold on, let me pull my Google Translate out real quick. Oh, so this is the season 2 area tournament in Hokkaido. It's just in Hokkaido. I got to change my title. Ooh, Chad, here is the top 8. They just have the top 8 in this tournament. It's going to be 4 Emu, 2 Ace, 1 Blue Purple Luffy, and 1 Zoro. Area 2 finals in Hokkaido. 4 Emu, 2 Ace, 1 Green Zoro, and 1 UP Luffy. So should be only 3. Well, actually, they may show both top 4 rounds tonight. So yeah, it is going to be a much smaller tournament tonight. I thought it was going to be top 16. Yeah, incoming Emu mirror. I want to see the blue-purple Luffy chat. Because blue-purple Luffy in EB03 plays the new EB03 Charlotte Linlin. And that card is sick. That card is so good. You think we're getting any reveals or no? I think it'd be kind of weird to get reveals because OP13 just released today in Japan. So it would be weird to advertise a future product when you would want to advertise the product that just came out, you know? If anything, they would reveal something from like Starter Deck 29 or like a new tin or, you know, collector's kind of product. That would be the only thing that I could see them revealing. I don't think they'll reveal anything in like EB04 or anything like that. Yeah, I'm hoping for some of the Zoro gameplay or the UP Luffy. UP Luffy is my main priority, I think, of what I want. No, PN. This is a invite tournament. So naturally there are less players playing in this. All right, Chad, moving into this top 8 round of the Area 2 finals, it is going to be the UP Luffy. UP Luffy, one of my more exciting decks, oddly enough to say, if you remember the OP12 format, in this meta, right? Especially with the additions in EB03. Right, EB03 got the 7-drop Linlin, has the ability not only to ramp a Dawn, but also heal your life, right? Add a card from the top of your deck to your life. So we'll see if he's playing that in this list. We know that Douglas Bullet has come in these lists. He's going to be facing off against Emu, right? Emu, a deck that everybody knows about, right? And more than likely, you know, at least 48 of the 50 cards in the potential player's deck. You got to think that the UP Luffy has battled an Emu once or twice heading into these finals, right? This top 8. What was I going to say after that? Especially since Emu being the big bad boogeyman. Chat, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream if you're watching this live. And if you're watching this back as the individual videos on YouTube, I hope you're enjoying that as well. Not sure who won the rock, paper, scissors or who is going first or second, but we do know that this is the UP Luffy hand. UP Luffy going to have some ramping in the Gear 2 and Bon Clay as well as the Zorojuro, which is going to be very nice to start. And then a Sanji, right? Especially if he can get in that stack and try to figure out what he wants to Sanji, right? Could be a Rush Luffy, could be a Douglas Bullet, could be a Linlin even. Will be nice. This Emu is actually playing a very interesting list. You see that big card in the middle right there? That is a 2K T-Bone. It's been a while since we've seen T-Bone. I almost said Temu. It's been a while since we've seen T-Bone in a deck, since probably about Sakazuki, right? This 5-cost Navy card is very interesting, right? Not only is it a 2K, like I mentioned, but also has the ability to pop a character. So that EB01 card that I'm trying to pull up on my screen because I'm trying to remember the cost off the top of my head of T-Bone. KOing a 2-cost or less is definitely very nice to be able to KO different chum blockers that your opponent may have. Yeah, they're wearing headphones so they don't hear the casters, because the casters are probably playing their audio to a stage of people watching this game. So UP Luffy, never having anything to play on the 1-Dawn turn, is just going to go ahead and pass. The Emu is actually utilizing a big Navy package. So this is one of the more interesting Emu builds that we've seen, right? Dropped off for that leader effect, that 1-drop searcher event, and is going ahead already and revealing another 2K on that Navy card to get out of that swing. Playing that Zorojuro on 3. Zorojuro probably going to stay alive within this game, and Emu starting out with a 6K swing. This 6K swing, Luffy does have to be careful about what he takes. We see the 2K chopper in the hand, but is going to go ahead with this first life. It's going to be another gear too, a nice card to be able to ramp and or be able to get out of a swing. Using that empty throne stage is going to be using the Saturn, right? The Saturn is going to be one of the key components of the Emu deck, if you do not know. Goes ahead and looks for a 5 Elder, I believe. So it does have a couple different options. Can grab the Nuzjuro. We see that in the hand, but goes for the 5 Elder Stars event. Is going to be another search card to be able to utilize in a future turn. Don't think he's utilized leader effect on this turn as of yet, so could still draw one more card if he wanted to. We see another T-bone we see that T-bone in the hand. So is going to go ahead and pitch that for the Equilibrium event. Now going on to Luffy's 5-Dawn turn. Will have Zoro, so will be able to ramp to 6. And especially with the 6, could go ahead and gear 2 twice, but is going to value the swing at lead instead, using Zorojuro for 5. And because you're at that 3 or less life, you're going to be able to ramp 1 Dawn. You still have 5 active after this swing. Yeah, the T-Bone does deal with Charlos and Koshiro. Pretty good for the mirror, I agree. Very cool card. And so is going to counter out that 2K of the Jupiter, and now 6K swing is going to have to force another 2K if he doesn't want to take a life, but is going to go ahead with his first life. No trigger on that one on the Equilibrium event, and tapping 4 for Bon Clay. Bon Clay going to go ahead, ramp 1, and probably pass off the turn to his opponent, especially because he's now got 2 active Dawn with him. Thunder Bagua now going to be able to ramp a Dawn since he is at 7. Would put him to 8. So maybe Emu not swinging in preparation for the Thunder Bagua, right? Potentially predicting that on this turn. Starts out with the 5 Elder Stars. Is going to be able to grab one of these 2 cards, either Shalria or a Marcus Mars. So is going to go ahead and grab a Shalria, maybe thinking about going in and doing a little bit more search, doing a little bit more hand setup later in this turn. So is going to go ahead and grab Shalria right there. Now at 7 cards in the trash. So the protection effects of Saturn, right? If a God Thread comes out of this life, even though he's swinging at Zorojuro, if a God Thread would come in, would be able to keep him alive. Thunder Bagua going to keep Zorojuro alive and force this leader swing to go at the Zorojuro. I like Blackbeard Z Dragons. Pudding also got top 16 in the Treasure Cup last weekend, so both good decks, in my opinion. Whichever one you want to play the most, I would say. Is going to go ahead and swing that leader at Zorojuro. Does not want to commit the 2K chopper to keep him alive, just in case of something like a Marcus Mars, right? Especially because he passed one earlier. Marcus Mars could come down onto the field, maybe has another one in hand. We know he doesn't, though. Shalria going to be coming in, going to be looking at that top 3. Does find another Marcus Mars, and also a It Was Originally Never There. Is going to have to grab between one of those 2. Going to have to grab one and then trash a card from hand because of that Shalria effect. So now going to 9 cards in hand, 10 after the trash. Still has leader effect that you can use on the Shalria to draw 1 card, now sitting at 11. Is going to go ahead, tap 3 for that empty throne stage to get another one of these Elders out. pitches in the Nuzjuro, attaching one Dawn onto the Nuzjuro, going aggressive, right, because you have enough cards in trash, is going to be able to get the swing at lead, 6,000 power swing, and minusing the Bon Clay. It's just going to be a 2K Tony Chopper out of that swing. Now moving into Luffy's leader effect, because he's at 8 Dawn, thanks to that Thunder Bagua, is going to find plenty of targets for Sanji, including 2 different Roger promos. Is going to go ahead, grab the Usohachi as the card off of the leader effect, right? Because you can only grab Straw Hat Crew kind of cards. And the Roger promo is going to be so nice to be able to play off of your Sanji, because you're going to want to be an 8K leader as many turns as possible. And so it ends up grabbing the Otama off of the draw for turn. Now utilizing the Bon Clay, he's going to be copying the power of one of these 2 characters. Going to be a 5,000 power swing, and looks like he's swinging 5 at the Nuzjuro. The Emu is probably going to pitch a card and force the leader swing to come at the Nuzjuro, right? Not take any life unless there was a rush swing. That would come in from a 9-drop Luffy, an interesting card that a lot of people play in Blue-Purple Luffy. And the Saturn is going to be what's discarded on that effect. 9 come in now for the Sanji. As he goes in and taps, though, we'll see what he put at the top of the deck. More than likely, Roger is going to go ahead and flip that guy over. And with that, Roger, one of the most important cards in this UP Luffy deck, because you are at 10 Dawn, you are going to be plus 2,000 power through your opponent's next turn. So he's going to be an 8,000 power leader on that swing to get rid of the Nuzjuro. And now Emu, if he wants to swing at him, he's going to have to reach up to 8,000 power. Definitely want to chain these as much as possible in this matchup, right? Because the more times that you're at 8,000 power, the harder it is for Emu to swing, right? Really going to force him to play that Jupiter out onto the field if he wants to swing with this Saturn at lead. And that's something that we may see within this turn, because we know he has one in hand, but does have a couple different searches that he can utilize on this turn, with the 5 Elders are here and the Saint Shalria. Yo, what up, Mitch? I think this Emu is fascinating for playing the Navy cards. Is going to go ahead, tap 1 for the Elder Stars event. Does find 10-drop Marcus Mars and Saturn. I think this is the 3rd Saturn that he's seen and the 3rd Marcus Mars, and only the 2nd 10-drop. So going to go ahead, grab the 10-drop right here. Want to be able to chain those in the consecutive turns, right? Especially because of Luffy being such a big leader at this point in the game. And is going to start off with a 5,000 power swing over at Bon Clay. Bon Clay only copying the power of your character on their turn. Does go back down to 1,000, so an easy character to KO. Now going in with the Shalria, finds the War Curie. Don't think he had found one yet at this point, so definitely a sigh of relief to get that guy. Going to have to pitch a card in hand off of that Shalria to finish out this effect. Yo, Bounce Man Lucy, welcome on in. I hope you're having a great night. I'm having a good night. I'm excited to watch this game. I think he's kind of eyeing up either the 10-drop Elder or the War Curie, and ends up going with the War Curie, now using leader effect on the Shalria to draw 1 card into another War Curie. Is going to be going ahead and tapping 3 for that Jupiter, as I mentioned, is going to make that Saturn a 7,000 power base. So now all you need to do is attach 1 Dawn to swing 8 and force a card out of hand. Tapping 1, going to be using Gear 2 to get out of that swing. Gonna leave probably 2 Dawn open for the UP Luffy going into their turn for the Equilibrium event, for the It Was Never There event. Appreciate the compliment, Penderman. You're pretty cute, too. Now the Luffy finds another Usohachi on the leader effect, is thinking about grabbing the Nami instead. We see two more Roger promos actually inside this hand. Is going to be top decking what looks like Gum Gum Giant Gavel for the turn. And Sanji on the top of the deck is going to be able to once again become an 8,000 power leader. Starts off with a 9,000 power swing, though, with this Sanji. Don't know if they're going at lead or going at the Saturn. Looks like they're going at the Saturn. Even though Jupiter does give that power boost, it's only on your turn as Emu. So in your Luffy's turn does go back down to 5. The 10,000 power swing from the Roger would force 2 cards, and the Emu does not want to give that up, is going to go ahead, take the life, find that Navy 2K. Very good, I think his name is. And so Luffy now going in with another Sanji and Roger, making him another 8 right here. And so this 8K swing is just going to be it was never there to be 9,000 power. And now Luffy passing off the turn. A second straight turn of this 8,000 power leader is going to be a problem for this Emu, but we do know that there's another one in the top of the deck right there for the blue-purple Luffy. So more than likely going to be 3 straight turns of being there. Yo, no worries, J Hall. The VOD will be public if you want to go check it out tomorrow after your treasure cups and stuff. Good luck, by the way. Jupiter now attaching 1 and swinging 8,000 power is going to command 1 card. It is going to be that 1K Nami that we saw grabbed earlier. Using the leader effect before playing the 10 drop does find a Mary Joie, which is not very useful at all at this point, so you definitely want to trash it on your leader effect when you can. And so now utilizing the stage, going to the combo that everybody knows, going to be the 10 cost Elder and utilizing the 10 cost Elder effect, just making sure before he does anything else that he has all 5 Elders inside the trash. We know he does. And so resting that Fort Dawn for that activate main is going to go ahead, pitch that Mary Joie that I talked about, just came in there, and now playing out the 5 Elders. First going to be doing the mandatory draw on the Saturn because you do have to do that. Not going to be using the Marcus Mars because there's no character to KO on the Marcus Mars, but that is more than fine. You don't really want to pitch a card at this point. He's thinking about grabbing a Warcury blocker. Warcury could be pretty good at this point, right? Having more blockers can be very nice for these big swings that are coming in, right? 9,000 power Sanjis, 10,000 power Rogers. So many different swings coming in at such high numbers. 8,000 power leader. Definitely one of the strengths of blue-purple Luffy, if you find your ramp, is you can get so many big bodies so fast. Ends up going with the Warcury and now can swing with the Nuzjuro, right? Has 2 more swings with leader and the Nuzjuro. The real question is, how much Dawn do you leave open potentially? If you want to commit to the Nuzjuro swing, you do have to attach 1 more unless you go in with a Nuzjuro swing at Sanji, right? With the power minusing potential of the Nuzjuro, right? You would be able to battle an even 7 at the Sanji. Emu, after counting up the trash, is going to be that plus 1,000 because of the empty throne, so it is going to be a 6K leader. Is going to start out swinging 8,000 power at the Sanji and minusing the power on the Sanji to 7,000 powers. So is going to have to be a 2K to get out of that swing. Looks like he is going to pitch the Otama right there, and now 2 Dawn attached to Emu, 8,000 power. We'll see. It looks like he's going to be swinging at Sanji yet again, because Sanji with that Nuzjuro minus is going to be through the entire turn. So now the Luffy player has to think, does he want to utilize Gear 2 right now, or does he want to utilize Gum Gum Giant? And it looks like he's letting the KO happen, not using any of his counter events like Gear 2. Very interesting, not leaving that alive. Oh, Gear 2 is only for leader. I'm sorry. He could have only done Gum Gum Giant. Did not want a Gum Gum Giant. That's my apologies. is going to be using his leader effect now to be able to look at the top. Does find a Nami that he's thinking about grabbing, but maybe he wants to grab a Gum Gum Giant Gavel instead. Looks like some of the other cards are Red Rock, Roger, and Otama, I think, is in there. Red Rock doesn't really do anything except be a good target for your your Gum Gum Giant. And so is going to go ahead and grab the Red Rock. Red Rock, once again, not a very good card in this matchup, just simply because all of these characters have a protection effect, right? You can't actually bottom anything, but on the top deck being the Roger promo, you are going to be able to be an 8K leader once again in this game. So starting out the swing at the Nuzjuro is going to go ahead and get that knockout, get it off the field. Now a 10,000 power swing going at lead. The 10,000 power swing could just be a Workery block, right? To be able to draw one card. That would be nice. And you could be able to block with Marcus Mars on the other swing of the Roger. And with potentially another Roger coming down onto the field, the Luffy maybe only swinging somewhere between 8,000 to 9,000 on this turn, which you would be able to get out of with your events / characters in hand. I think he wants to try to utilize Usohachi to rest one of the two blockers to go for game. Because Usohachi rests 6 cost or less, right? So you can rest Workery, you can rest Marcus Mars. Yeah, I think he's trying to save it for a blocker. I think you just block Workery here, right? Get that draw 1. Oh, Usohachi's 5 or less? Oh, thank you, thank you. I thought it was 6 or less for some reason. Ends up taking that life, now going in with the Roger yet again. Ends up finding another equilibrium event off of the life, but ends up going to 0. Interesting, going to 0. Now another Roger coming down onto the field. Values those blockers as potential attackers in this matchup. Now swinging in 8,000 power with Luffy. Luffy, very commanding in this game, in my opinion. Especially with the potential of Luffy playing something like a Charlotte Pudding in the next turn. I think this Emu player really just valuing, at this point, the potential swings that he can do, right? Because a lot of times when you face against these purple Luffy kind of decks, you're trying to get Gum Gum Giant. So especially with Jupiter on the field, all these are going to be 7,000 power base. He's trying to value getting that. What was I going to say? Getting that, getting those swings in, trying to pitch, because there's only 4 cards in the Luffy's hand, and you know one of them is Gum Gum Red Rock. Getting out of that final 8K swing with an equilibrium and a 1K. Now he's going to have 5, potentially 6 swings. Wouldn't surprise me if all of these now start going at face. Does he go at face, though, or does he try to battle these characters once again? I think going to 0 is fine when you have all these cards in the hand. I mean, you open yourself up to a pudding next turn, but I don't think going to 0 is bad. I think he wants to be able to do a lot of these chip swings. And so is going to start off with a Saturn swing first. 8,000 power at lead, right? Especially with 4 cards in hand. And we know that one of them is a dud. Luffy does have to be a little bit careful on what he decides to do. Ends up going with Gum Gum Giant first on that Red Rock, right? The one card that we know was in the hand. Going to draw 2 cards. What's it going to be? An Usohachi and a Nami. 2K, 1K is going to be so nice for this Luffy in this game to be able to stay alive, especially because he's probably going to want at least one of these Usohachis to be able to go for game in the next turn, especially if Emu is going to be aggressive and try to go for life and leave all these bodies on the field. Emu using leader effect on the Saturn, right? Because you're probably going to 10 cost anyways on this turn, so Saturn will eventually leave the field, so might as well gain 1 card in hand. Is going to now swing 8 with Jupiter, the 1K that you got off the Nami. Well, I don't know if it's disrespect for the pudding. Because, like, if you've milled enough of your deck, you know that your deck really only consists of good cards. Oh, he knows about the Usohachi too? Yes, he did on the first leader effect get Usohachi, and he has not seen it yet. So he knows that that's a real thing. Is thinking about attaching 1 to the War Curie and going in with the swing, is going to do exactly that for 8. There's 8 in Usohachi that he knows about. There's still a potential another one left. And if he gets out of 1 more swing, he's guaranteed to stay alive. And so there goes the 10 drop. Is going to go ahead and use the effect before swinging with the Marcus Mars. Did not want to commit any more Dawn into the Marcus Mars. Is going to get all 5 of those Elders back onto the field. Another card being grabbed off of the Saturn. Does find a Jupiter 2K. Going to be very, very nice. Is going to get him the maximum amount of counter in this hand. And goes ahead and swings 7. Looks like swinging it at this Sanji right here. So at this Sanji is going to potentially utilize this Usohachi in hand. If he uses the Uchohachi in hand, has the potential to keep it alive, but now this 7,000 power swing is going to have to let it go down onto the field. And now Luffy only with 4 swings, potentially 5 with a Rush Luffy. Utilizes leader effect. This is the turn. Don't have any more Usohachis in hand, so can't go ahead and rest one of the blockers. Does see a Rush Luffy in there, but does not want to grab it. Maybe potentially wants to put it at the top, but is going to put it at the top of the deck. No Rush Luffy. Ends up grabbing the Gum Gum Giant for the turn. Now with these 3 Rogers and 1 Luffy, just has to hit 1 time to be able to get the game, but plenty of counter we know in the Emu's hand, and leaving Dawn up for different events could spell trouble for this Luffy, especially if he leaves this Nuzjuro and all the other characters out onto the field. With this first 10K swing, is going to go ahead and use the originally it wasn't there and a 2K to get out of the swing. That's going to be very, very nice in case of a potential delayed pudding, right? Trying to minimize the amount of cards that go back into your deck. Now is going to utilize an 11,000 power swing, right? This would force 3 cards out of the Emu's hand if he wanted to do it, but is just going to War Curie and draw 1. Is going to be a 2K, which is so nice, right? 3 2Ks in the hand, an Equilibrium, and 2 1Ks. No dead cards at this point. So now another 11,000 power swing, right? If he had another originally, it wasn't there, would be able to get out of it. And so if he can get out of this swing, because there's 8 Dawn committed, only thing he's worried about on the rush is an 8 cost Luffy, right? Which most Luffys have taken out of their deck, in my opinion. And so is going to go ahead, Equilibrium, and now double 2K to get out of that swing. Now still with 3 cards in hand and only 1 swing left. You've got Marcus Mars. You know you're going to be able to block if you have to at this point. And so is just going to go ahead, potentially attach a ton to lead to be an 11,000 power swing. Just going to swing a ton of 11s. Trying to think about how much Dawn you leave open. Does just go ahead with 10. And I think 10 is a fine number to swing, right? He has no more Dawn left open, only 3 cards in hand. I think more than likely is going to fetch a block at this point. So it does finalize with the 10,000 power swing. You don't have enough counter in hand, so is going to have to block. And now the Luffy only has to deal with 4 swings at this point. You've got Gum Gum Giant, you've got Gear 2, and you still have 2 life right now. So you've honestly got a pretty decent shot to be able to still stay alive in this game. No, Lysol, I'm sorry. I had to unregister myself from the Treasure Cup today. I was too busy. I don't know if going to 0 was a mistake. It was definitely risky. But I don't think it was a mistake. Or I'm not convinced it was a mistake. I guess, there's only one right line that you can do in a game, and in that situation, there's only one correct thing that you can do. But I don't know what that correct thing was to do, but I'm not convinced that what he did was wrong. I could be convinced, though, if you guys want to tell me why. So still 4 minutes left in this match. He might Grass Dog. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's going to play Showery or not. Is just going to go for a 7,000 power lead. The 1 for Gear 2. Going to get him out of that swing. Now he needs 3 to connect. Does use leader effect. Does find a 1-drop event. But I think at this point, not going to help you unless you find a 10-drop. So I think he's going to be going in trying to hit for game at this point. Or maybe use the Shalria. This 8K or this 7K swing from Jupiter, going to be pitching the Bon Clay on the Gum Gum Giant to draw 2 and finds double 2K. He is set at this point. Does have another Rush Nudge Juro in hand, so still has 3 swings. And if he can get all 3 of these swings to connect, he would win this game, but it's going to be tough. Another 8,000 power swing now going at the Luffy. Is going to have to fetch 2 cards, but is going to go ahead and take this life. I think he's going to take this life. He is. Is going to be a 1K Bon Clay. Now on the 9,000 power swing is just going to be a 2K to get out of that one. Be 10,000 power. And the Nudge Juro coming in with the big swing coming in is just going to be politeness, right? Just swinging for the fences. Knows that he is going to lose this game as Luffy goes into the leader effect. Luffy going to be moving into the top 4 round. We see Luffy as well in this list playing Marco. I think that's going to be a key point that we'll maybe see in the future matches. And with back-to-back-to-back promo Rogers, that's why I've always said that this Roger promo is so good in Blue Purple Luffy. Even has the 9-drop Luffy to be able to style on him and swing. No Dawn left open, no blockers left at the top. Is just going to go 16 at lead for the win. And Blue Purple Luffy moves into our top 4 round in this one. In EB03 is a hero, but I hated him in OP11. Well, I think Chico, his thought process was that even if he found 10-drop, even if he got 2 blockers back up, he was still going to lose the game. Right? Also, I don't know if players are aware of how much time is left on the clock. He probably would have had another turn, but I think he was still going to lose even if he found the 10 cost. To be honest. Chad, he's not a troll. You can't make top 8 of this tournament and be a troll. Chad, y'all need to chill. None of you have ever topped as well as these people. I'm sure of it. My best advice to Dragons is just to make stuff. Don't care if it does good. Don't care if it does bad. Just make stuff. Make what you want to make. Once you start getting a lot bigger, then you can worry a little bit more about, like, you know, what needs to do really well, what maybe to avoid, or how to style stuff. Just make stuff. Get comfortable making things. I don't think you would win by timer rule because would you win by timer rule? It depends how many is in deck, right? It would depend on how many is in deck. And so if the emu went through, are these new sleeves that are going to be coming to the One Piece base shop? Chat, what is this in reference to? What is this referencing right here in One Piece? He could potentially drop 3 blockers, leave 1 done open if he found it. Yeah, and I think maybe that risk was just too high. Yo, what up, Merc? Yo, Druid, what's good? Panda Man? I don't know who Panda Man is. Yo, Danmon, what's good? Oh, Oda always hides a character called Panda Man. Oh, interesting. Audio setups are good. Yeah, that's for sure. Audio setups are good for YouTubers. Oh, it's a One Piece clothing brand. Referencing the Gucci of One Piece. He had the one Kashalria. Oh, they're showing these, Chad. Chad, these leaders are going to be in the One Piece base shop in a binder. And apparently it's exclusive to the base shop, is what I saw online. This is going to be retailing for $10 USD. And I know Americans are going to freaking resell this on eBay for $150. Yo, what up, JK? Midnight, what's good? It's a brand in the anime. There's knockoff Doskoi clothes in One Piece. That's so funny, though, that they have the Panda Man, like, clothing brand sleeves. Yeah, he did. There was only 110 cost left in the deck. In what would have been hypothetically that Shalria search. So I think he just thought his odds were way too low that he wasn't going to find what he needed, which was that 10 drop. So I think he just went for game. I mean, there's a point potentially of, like, should he have ever pitched that third 10 drop? And there's an argument to be made about yes or no, but the fact of the matter is that he did, and so he had to deal with that consequence. You know? I know these leaders are so good. I want them so bad. What do you mean the treasure rare Nami is so good? Don't disrespect GTA Nami. Don't disrespect her. You guys talk down about her all you wanted, and I bought her at $20, and now she's sitting at like 150. So who's laughing now? Yo, what up, Oso? How are you? Also, those of you on Twitch that have followed, Ghostini, Tazzy, Spoonbiter, that's a good name, Night Rose, and Flame, thank you all for following over on Twitch. I appreciate you. Usopp and Sugar are real good. I think those leader alternate arts are so good. I want them so bad. No, so to my understanding, Alcatraz and anybody else who's listening, the One Piece base shop, I think, only ships to Japan addresses. So if you had a Japan proxy address, I think you'd be able to do it, but unfortunately not for most of us, I think. Chat, the top 4 is going to be our UP Luffy, right, that we just watched, is going to be Ace and 2 Emus. What price can you see gold Shanks from OP13 in 1 year from now? Oh, I don't know, Thanos. I mean, isn't it like 1,200 right now? I don't really follow the price of like high value cards because I don't own most high value cards. So Chad, there's in the top 4, there's 2 Emus, 1 Ace, and our UP Luffy. Oh, you sold the Treasurer Nami for 180 at pre-release? Well, that's pre-release. I remember I sold a base SR Basil Hawkins at pre-release for $10. Made out like a bandit that day. Sanji's apron from the beginning series for the Panda sleeves? Yeah, I'd never heard of Panda Man until right now. Bandai printing alt arts for obsolete leaders? No, I don't think it's obsolete leaders. They just did a method of a specific face that is very popular with those characters, right? Like, don't all of those characters make those faces? I've seen Chopper make that face 100 times. I've seen Usopp make that face 100 times. Enel has that panel where I think he like sees Luffy like live a certain attack or whatever, and he makes that face. Like, there's a theme around it. It's not just obsolete leaders, chat. It's because they all make that face in the manga, in the anime. Even Usopp's like alternate leader in OP10 has that face. Yo, Nova, what's good? They're kind of delaying this top 4. Usually they show the deck distribution of the top 4 and then they go right into it. Chat, for anyone who does not know, the top 4 is 2 Emus left, 1 Ace, and 1 Blue-Purple Luffy. They might just follow the Blue-Purple Luffy, especially if he plays against the Ace. They might not show the same matchup with Blue-Purple Luffy versus Emu. I don't know what the bracket looks like. They might, sometimes during the like finals that they have, sometimes they show both top 4 matches. I do not know if they're going to do that this time. How's Roger holding up in the East? Roger was the 3rd most popular deck in this tournament. Med. It's doing okay. It's doing okay. It's trying to break into that, like that 3rd spot for the 3rd best deck in the format, chat, is really a battle right now between like Zoro and Roger. And I think Sabo is trying to make its way in there, but I think Sabo gets edged out for the top 5. Or edged out to be 5th in the top 5. But I think Roger's doing pretty okay. Roger's doing pretty all right. It is just that Ace and Emu, in my opinion, are just better than all the other decks. It's just they're exploitable in different ways. Here we go, Chad. We're going to be watching our top 4 round. The top 4 round of these championships going to be at least Emu. Emu, one of the best decks, one of the 2 left within this top 4, right? We saw in the top 8 round, Emu playing several different Navy cards. That is not something we've seen in the championships up to this point. He's going to be going up against this player. Looks like it's going to be Ace, so a matchup that we've seen time and time again, right? But maybe, especially with the cute little decks that we've seen in this tournament so far, maybe this Ace has something up his sleeve that we're not expecting. I would agree, Yogurt. I wish we got the promos at the same time. And yeah, the Roger promo and the McDonald's promo, Sabo being delayed until January sucks. I've heard Moria in OP14 is really cool. This is an EB03 tournament chat. OP14 will be next week's championship, so subscribe if you want to see the OP14 championship. Not sure exactly who won the die roll, but we do know that Ace is going first in this game. Ace, especially in the Emu matchup, if you've seen a lot of pro players talk, in the Emu matchup, they prefer to go second, but it's very manageable to go first. So either way is fine with you. The Ace player, keeping this hand, not opting for a mulligan, has a Garp search at the beginning, and especially on the odd curve, can go ahead, play that Yamato on the odd curve, as well as maybe an Atmos in the early game if they don't build up their trash fast enough. Also has in there 2 different new gates, a 9-drop new gate from OP02 and the 10-drop new gate. Could be nice, as we saw the boost of power of 8,000, right, plus 2,000, could also be impactful in this game. The Emu mulliganing into this hand, right, has a Charlos, I believe, or no, actually that's a Majo's Guard right there. That 2 cost has a Saturn and 3 Jupiters. So really got to hope that this Saturn finds something good on turn 2 and your leader effect gets some good things for the Emu, or else this might not be a good game for you. Yeah, Emu's been winning a lot lately. And so Ace now moving in this one, starts off with the 1-Dawn turn with the Garp, right? Because your leader is Ace, Sabo, or Luffy, you're going to be able to look for the top 4 and find any 3-cost or above card, and finds that 8-cost event, right? Ace really needing the combo of 8-cost event and Whitebeard card. Now has both of them in hand to be able to utilize in the later turns. Emu starting out with his leader effect. After top decking the It Was Never There for turn, ends up finding the SP Stussy, a card that is very on and off in some of these Emu decks. Stussy going to be very, very good within this matchup once those 10-drop aces start to come down onto the field. Ace now at this point doesn't really have much that he can do, but could go ahead and swing 5 and 6 with the Garp and leader, right? Just trying to get a life, get some cards out of the Emu's hand at this point. Yo, congrats on the box tournament win. Yeah, the Emu hand is a little rough. He's going to need some good draws to get out of this one. I don't know, Matthew. I'll start thinking about how potentially to nerf Emu if they ever announce a ban list. I don't deal with rumors or theories most of the time. And so ends up 2K'ing out of that one and 2K'ing out of both swings, actually, to be able to still stay at 4 life. Now going on to 4 is going to have to really depend on this Saturn, right, with the empty throne to be able to search and find another key piece of the puzzle, especially in the early game. If Emu does not have searches, gets really, really tough. And so is just going to go ahead right away and utilize the empty throne for the Saturn. Try to get as many good options as possible in his hand before he does his leader effect or swing or anything of the sort. Does find War Curie, so that's another one of the 5 elders that you need for the eventual 10 cost. Now has access to 3 of them, but outside of your leader effect, your hand doesn't really have that much movement at all. The best thing that you have in the coming turns outside of your leader effect is just play War Curie down on the field and block for that on KO effect of drawing 1 card. So now it depends on what you want to discard. Is looking towards the Stussy for the leader effect and drawing 1 card. The judge is doing something, I think was maybe thinking about his life and Dawn sleeves being the same color, and is just going to go ahead and swing 6 to get Atmos off the field. Is pitching the Atmos. Some might think that you may want to use that to get this Saturn off the field, but Especially when the Emu's struggling, you don't want to bounce that Saturn back to hand. You don't want to give them another opportunity to search. You'd rather just go ahead and hard cast Yamato for the full 5 to just raw draw 2 and attach 1 to leader and swing 7. So is going to do exactly that now going in with the 7k swing. Emu now taking a life, is going to find a 10 cost Elder, which is nice, but he's going to have to find 2 more of the 5 Elders to be able to get out of this turn. Marcus Mars, a great card if he can find it in the leader effect, right, to be able to get rid of this Yamato, minimize the amount of swings. Yo, James, congratulations. That's awesome. Great run. Both in the 1v1 and the 3v3. That's so sick. You've had way more tops than I have. And so starts off with leader effect on the War Curie. Does get another 4 cost, but it's another War Curie. If it was a Saturn, that would be kind of okay because then you could at least do a little bit more searching. But now your hand is stuck as Emu, getting out of both of those swings, one with counter and one with a leader effect, right? Pitching the Jozu because once again, you do not want to bounce a searcher back into the hand, is going to go ahead and use the empty throne for a Saturn to be able to continuously search. Does find Nuzjuro, right? The 4th of the 5 pieces, but is that 2 Elders that he's bottom decking? He's bottom decking his last 2 10-drop Elders in the deck, right? So the one in hand, or I'm sorry, he has 1 more left in deck. He has 1 in hand, 2 at the bottom, and 1 more at this point. And so now is Ace going into his 7 Dawn turn. Could go ahead and play something like 4-drop Marco, right? This is kind of your odd turn before you go into chaining your new gates on the field. Marco would at least establish a 4-drop blocker that can net you a couple cards, maybe a threatening attacker in the coming turn since you're still relatively healthy at 3 life. But first is going to swing 7,000 power with Yamato at the Saturn. Wants to remove this on the field and force either an event card or multiple counter cards in the hand, and is just going to let that go with Ace now swinging 8,000 power at leader. Is going to go ahead and use the originally it was never there and play the Marco, passing off the turn. Emu now going into their 8 Dawn turn. Oh, thank you, Spike, for answering Endura's question. Thank you, Twan, as well. Appreciate you guys. And so starts off with a Shalria, finally finds the Shalria search for that top 3. Does not find a Marcus Mars, still missing it at this point, but could go ahead and grab some of this counter, whether it was originally it wasn't there. The Jupiter. Oh, sorry, chat. The Jupiter or the Nuzjuro. Does have to pitch 1 more card as well after grabbing 1 off of these Shalria. So especially because you didn't find the Marcus Mars, what is the best option at this point? How much Dawn are you going to leave up at the end of this turn to be able to counter out of attacks? Do you want to leave just 1 for the equilibrium? Or maybe do you want to grab this it was never there to be able to get out of some of these bigger swings and originally it was never there is going to be the option for the turn. Now has to decide what he wants to pitch. Maybe is either going to play the Nuzjuro or the War Curie on this turn, and especially with the Shalria pitching the Nuzjuro, I think he's going to be eyeing a little bit more towards the War Curie. Using the leader effect to get rid of the Shalria, finds another War Curie, so I think that's 3 War Curies now that he's found. Okay, I'll try to remember that, TK. I'll try to remember that. Still no Marcus Mars at this point. Unlucky. But then again, he did mulligan into not a very good hand. And that's what happens sometimes with mulligans. The Jupiter, if he did play that on the field instead of the blocker War Curie, would be a little bit easier potentially to get rid of this Yamato on the field, right? Boosting your Saturn up to 7,000 power base. You could potentially swing 7 and 6, attaching 1 Dawn onto your leader if you wanted to, or maybe swing 7-7, right? Try to force leader effect and a 2K or two 2Ks or maybe a block. This is the top 4 round pest. Yeah, this is the top 4 round. This is the turns as Emu where it's like, it's so difficult. Because you're like, you've got an awkward hand. What do you do? Like, do you go defensive and play War Curie to get a blocker on field? Or do you go with Jupiter to go in and get the power up with this Saturn? And it looks like Jupiter is going to be the option right now. Does have enough cards in trash for Jupiter's effect to be a 7,000 power base. And so now is going to swing 8 at Yamato. 8,000 power, very good in this matchup, right? Because with the 6,000 power characters, with the 6,000 power leader, an 8,000 power swing is going to net 2 cards potentially from the hand. Leader effect and a little bit of counter, but Ace just letting that knockout happen and with leader effect drawing 1 card. Because your 6,000 power or more character was KO'd. Now going ahead with a 6,000 power swing at lead is going to be a King Do counter, right? A nice 2K that we're starting to see a lot more in Ace the last couple weeks. Now goes for the draw for turn and finds another 9-drop Newgate from OP02. So could have multiple turns at this point where he gets these big plus 2,000 power Newgates on the field, but opts with that event to play the 10-drop Newgate instead. Ends up drawing 2 cards, which are 2 Utas, I think. So a nice pair of 2Ks. He's thinking about pitching one of these Newgates. And so with the rest of the effect is going to attach 2 Dawn onto leader and a character. Is going to go with the Marco for the choice. The 8-cost event, not taking one of your own life to gain plus 2,000 power. So now is going to swing 8,000 power at the Saturn. Is going to try to force all the events and is going to go with the originally it was never there to save the Saturn. Now swinging 8,000 power with the Saturn is going to take that knockout after using the Marco and now playing the Otama. The Otama can be nice if you play it down to be able to get a Jozu, but drawing a Yamato and Marco is deciding between, I think, Garp, Yamato, and Roger of what he wants. Yeah, they use English Gold Dawn. I love when Japanese players use English Dawn because it's so funny. There are a player on the right using the, I think it's the Devil Fruit Dawn of Ace from the second Devil Fruit, the Ace Devil Fruit collection. Is going to pass off the turn after pitching the Goldie Rogers. Sometimes these aces play multiple Goldie Rogers and could be very relevant in this matchup, right? Especially with Emu very consistently playing blockers on the field. And now the Emu at a full 10 Dawn. You're still missing one of these elders. If your leader effect does net a Marcus Mars in the hand, you would be able to safely use your 10-drop to be able to play out all of them at once. But is it ever worth playing the 10-drop with only 4 of the elders in the trash? And so is going to start off with an 8,000 power swing with the Jupiter. Is going to go ahead and free block with the Newgate. Now using leader effect. Does draw a Marcus Mars. He's able to get the combo off now with the empty throne. Being able to rest 3, play the 10-drop, and with the 10-drops activate main, is going to pitch the Marcus Mars to be able to get all 5 elders off to the field. A lucky top deck for our player. It was bound to happen eventually, right after those searches, and the leader effects is going to go ahead now, utilize the Saturn's draw on this one. Is going to look for a elder right now. Has a couple different options. Can grab the Shalria. Or actually, no, can only grab a 5 Elders kind of card. So actually can't find Shalria, can find the Elder Stars event. I always got to remember that Shalria can find everything, but Saturn can only find the Elder Stars. And off of pitching the card for Saturn is going to take that KO and now draw 3 cards for the Ace. See a couple 2Ks in there like Thatch in the hand. And so playing another search on the field for that searcher is going to grab a Shalria, getting rid of the Marcus Mars and the Shirahoshi. Still has 4 Dawn left to work with at this point, and potentially a Nuzjuro swing. Heart of the cards, I know. You just got to believe, Chad. That's it. It's either there or it's not. Dodger Luffy's probably crazy expensive. So is going to attach one and now swing at lead. Is going to be a Jozu to get out of that. I think was using leader effect because I think Emu has 19 cards in trash. And so now is thinking about how much you want to swing with Nuzjuro. How much Dawn do you need to leave open for the potential swings that are coming at you? At most, there's only 2 swings coming from the Ace and the 10-drop Newgate. Still relatively healthy at 3 life. Plenty of cards in hand, but so is Ace at this point. Still very healthy. From a game that went from bad to good is now anybody's game at this point. Still plenty of time, 15 minutes in this game. Chad, how are you doing today? And so attaching to Dawn, now swinging at the Roger, or actually swinging at lead, I think, and minusing the Roger is going to counter out of that, pass off the turn, leave 1 Dawn open. So now Ace going into a full 10 Dawn turn, does have another 10-drop blocker Newgate in the hand, but also has access to that 9-drop Newgate if he wants to use that. So I think eyeing up playing that 10-drop blocker. You can't go wrong with the 10-drop blocker, right? Especially because you get that draw 2, you get that filter effect, and potential to be able to swing bigger numbers with your leader and a character is going to go exactly for that. We see the 1-drop event that has been played in Vivi as I frantically pull it up. I think it's Marco's event. Phoenix Pyrapple. Phoenix Pyrapple, a good card, but not utilized for this game. On the main, if you rest one of your Dawn cards, you can place up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 3,000 or less to the bottom of the owner's deck, and then is a 3K counter battle to the leader. And so now, after pitching that card, not useful in this matchup, because Emu not going to be having any 3,000 power or less characters, is going to go ahead with these swings. First swing at the Nuzjuro is going to, originally it wasn't there. Then the swing with the Newgate, a Warcury block to draw 1 card. And now we go back into the Emu's turn. Once again, still at 3 life, and Ace also still at 3 life. But Emu now has plenty of swings with Ace only having 1 blocker up as active. Yeah, I know some people rag on like watching this matchup again and again, but I'm like, man, this is like good practice for like your actual tournaments if you're playing either of these 2 decks. Like learning the matchup more. Because you see other people play it that may do things differently than you, and you then get to think about why they're doing it differently. And it may be good, it may be bad, but starting out with a Shalria is going to be looking at that top 3. Does find a 10 cost Elder, or I'm sorry, finds a 9 cost Stussy, but can't grab it. The glare on the Stussy tricking me a little bit. And finds a War Curie instead. Does have to pitch one more card because of the Shalria effect before using the leader effect on the Shalria. So is going to be eyeing up the Nuzjuro, getting rid of that. The leader effect, drawing one card. It's not the 10 drop, so couldn't get uber lucky on 2 turns in a row, but you still have a little bit more search in the 5 Elder Stars are here that can dig a little bit more into your deck to try to find your key pieces of the puzzle. We know that some of the Elders, actually no, that was last game we saw 2 of the Elders get bottom decked. I don't think we've seen any get bottom decked in this game. Is going to go ahead and use that event. I think found... What did he find in there? The camera keeps changing. Did find a Nuzjuro, so no 10 drop to play on this turn. So now being a 6K swing at lead is going to be a 1K Garp to get out of that. Still has that blocker out on the field. And now the 8K swings coming in. The Saturn first takes a life, draws one off of the leader effect. Is going to net 2 cards out of that. Now the swing with Nuzjuro is thinking about blocking with the Newgate at this point. So does that with the minus 2,000 power on the Newgate. Now the Marcus Mars going in with a swing. I think acting like at this point that he's got the 10 cost Elder in hand. We know that he doesn't, but our opponent doesn't. Well, I know in one of the games it happened. I don't know about this one. Ends up using leader effect with the 8 drop event and a 2K, not going down to 1 life. Still has 1 8 cost event in the hand. So now I've got to think about if you want to swing 8 with Jupiter at this point. And if you swing 8 with Jupiter, what do you do after that? If you swing 8 with Jupiter, you would only have, quick math, 4 Dawn left. Could still use the Empty Throne stage. And so is just going to Empty Throne into the War Curie. And not swing with the Jupiter at all. Interesting, not swinging with the Jupiter. Maybe wants to keep it on the field as active to maybe protect it. So then you can more easily swing next turn at ace. I can't remember if the bottom decking was this game or last game. And the Garp coming in, now going to be searching for the top 4 for a card. Looks like going to find another 10-drop blocker. So Ace finding relatively all his pieces very easily in this game. Very opposite of Emu, who has had a tough time. Doesn't want him to go down. Oh, yeah, he may not want him to go down to 1 because of a card like Thatch, right? Isn't Thatch one of the cards that gets you down to 0? But is going to go ahead, use the event, and plus 2,000 power on his leader after taking a life. Is going to be an 8,000 power leader into his opponent's turn. Now attaching 2 Dawn onto leader and now 2 Dawn on another character. Has 3 big blockers out onto the field. And nice, now they're signifying dice. And is thinking about putting the last one on Garp. Maybe putting the active Dawn on Garp as well. Garp being a 2,000 power character is now at 4,000. Could potentially swing 5 with him. Penguin, my advice is net deck. Copy other people. See what they're doing. And so now a 10,000 power swing coming in is just going to net a Workery block. Go ahead, draw one. It was a Shall Reassercher. And now the 12,000 power Newgate going in at lead. Swinging for the fences is going to be a Searcher event off the trigger. So now looking at the top three, finds an Originally It Was Never There. Still no 10 drop. Does have to keep searching. Now another 10,000 power swing. Is not afraid of dying at this point. Swinging for the fences, not at these characters. So with 2 Dawn open, 12,000 power is pretty big. With a Originally It Was Never There and an Equilibrium event, it would not be enough to get out of the swing. Right, would only put you at 12,000 power. So might just have to take and go down to 1. Yeah, there's a chance that the last Elder might be at life, right? If this was the game where we saw the 2 Elders get bottomed in the deck. And so if there is one in life, you've got a 50-50 shot to find it. If you're not confident that you are going to loop to your deck to find some of the ones that you bottomed. And so is going to get out of the swing with 2 Equilibriums and a 2K Shirahoshi. Is going to tap out all the Dawn. And only 1 potential swing left with the Garp if he wants to do that. And is going to go ahead and attach the last one to Garp. Maybe. He's thinking about not doing it. Maybe trying to feint a Radical Beam. And so goes in with the swing. 5,000 power at lead is just a 1K counter to get out of the swing, but still a card has to come out of hand and passes off the turn. Chat, thanks for everyone hanging out right now. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're on YouTube, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you're on Twitch, please make sure to follow. Mikazuki, thanks for following on Twitch, by the way. Appreciate it. Chat, every single Japan Championship, you can expect this channel to be watching, practicing commentary, showcasing the Eastern meta. So make sure to stop back again. Now, if you're Emu, how much do you go at lead? It's going to be hard to get rid of these 10-cost Newgates, right? They are 12,000 power characters. Ace is sitting at an 8,000 power leader. So you have to commit Dawn to be able to swing. And he's got plenty of cards in hand. He's been able to filter the cards in his hand through 3 of these Newgates and even draw from a Yamato. You know, we saw the draw from the Marco. So you know he's got a decent amount of counter in hand. No, this is the top 4 Shankara. This is top 4 Penguin Dragon. I think Ace is definitely sitting in a really good spot right now. Especially because how scared are you for leaving him at 0 at this point? It's got 4 2Ks in hand. Now with the 8K swing going in at lead, is just going to 2K Thatch out of that one. Emu, leader effect, drawing 1 in Equilibrium is not a 10-drop Elder. Now going another 8,000 power at lead is going to be Uta to get out of there. Another 2K, just 1 simple card in hand. They could Zaya. That's very common in card games. And so now swinging at lead is going to minus the Newgate. Is just going to be a free block right there for the Newgate, not pitching any cards in hand. And the Jupiter swinging 8 can net something like Uta or Shirahoshi. Probably Shirahoshi before anything, but it's thinking about going down to 0. If you go down to 0, you would be able to get out of an all-in with leader if he decided to go that way, and is just going to do exactly that, is going to draw one off of leader effect because you had one Dawn attached, is a brick. But I think you've got enough counter to get out of it with your minus 2,000 power leader effect and two 2Ks and a 1K in hand. And so is just going to go in with leader. Does not feel good about the game, so is just going to go all in at this point. Just hope that he's not been able to get counter. Probably Emu's best shot. And so is going to go leader effect and pitch 2K and 1K getting out of the swing. So no luck for this Emu player, but Ace still has to hit the numbers on his turn to be able to get out of this. He's got to hit 3 times to be able to win. Does have 3 12,000 power characters. Seems impossible for him to lose. And so we start out 12,000 power, takes the life, takes the next life, and immediately concedes. One of the Elder was in life, as you may have seen there on the slew of taking from the Emu player. So Ace moving into our finals. We know that Ace is going to be in there taking down the big bad boogeyman, as some people think of the format. He didn't have a 10 cost Bilbo. If he had it, he probably would have played it, but he didn't have it. Yeah, I agree, AZN. I agree. I think Roger is definitely a thought in his eyes. Yeah, but it's so hard to be able to tell what Ace has in hand because, like, even though they do have some searches with Garp and Ezo, they have so much raw draw. No, he had 10 drop after he took all the life. He did have 10 drop? Oh, when did he get this 10 drop? When did he get this 10 drop? Did he, like, draw this for turn? He must have drawn this for turn. Oh, so why do you not 10 drop there? What's the reasoning for not 10 dropping, chat? Because you're in a situation where you need to put him down to 0, right? Because you have to get aggressive and you have to try to swing. And so if you play the 10 drop, it doesn't matter with your blockers because you don't have a lot of counter in hand anyways, because your counter events are, well, your counter events might make a difference, but like 12, 12, 12, 13 with a 6 right here, and you can't use your blockers, and you have to stop 2 of the 5 swings, or 3 of the 5 swings. You have to stop 3 of them. Maybe he was really, I think he was just like really afraid of Roger because of all the raw draw that he had here. Yeah, he just gambled the 50-50 on the Roger, and he just lost the gamble. It was interesting. We know he trashed a Roger early in the game. I think it was the first... Was it the first Newgate he pitched the Roger? Or was it off of a leader effect? I know there was one that he pitched early, but again, with Ace's raw draw with these guys, with Yamato, with leader effect, with the 4-cost Marco that we saw, I mean, it's reasonable to think that Ace plays 2 Rogers. And I'm sure Roger is very impactful in this matchup. So it's an interesting thought. Yeah, and he discarded a Roger earlier in the game. So how much do you think that because he trashed one earlier, he has another one in hand? Yeah, I agree with you, Horizon Tornado. Is jamming 12K into leader a good play? Like, are you talking about the end there? I mean, I think if you're going all in, right? Because if you think about like this swing, like this 12K swing going at lead, like what happens if you swing like 11, right? You like leave a couple dawn open. If you leave a couple dawn open, one, it's easier for ace to get out of the swing, but do you really think you can get out of like 3 12s and a full 10 dawn? Like even with a couple different counter events? I just don't know if you do. So I think he was under the assumption that he was dead no matter what. So he had to win the game right then and there. I don't know if he could have stayed alive with all the different swings. Because there's 4 or 5 swings coming in, depending on if he has Roger. And you have to get out of... He has to hit 3 times to win. So can you block 2, potentially 3 swings? And if it's 2 swings that you have to block, then it's like it could be somewhere along the lines of like 3 12s and a 16. Like, can you block 2 of those swings? I don't know if you could. Oh, yo, what's up, Michael? The one where it's like 2K.deck, I was calling it 2K.deck. It was interesting. I think I was getting lucky, though. But it was definitely funny. That's for sure. I mean, it's iffy, but but once again, like, I think he just thought that he had Roger in hand. So he's like, I think he just assumed that he had Roger in hand. So he's like, I think I just got to go all in. I think Red Black Sabo is a good deck in EB03. I think Sabo's a good deck in EB03. It's curious though because the West is not going to have this format. We will have OP13 when EB03 releases, so our format could look entirely different from this. Thoughts on Zoro in this meta? Are you talking about green Zoro or red Zoro? I assume you're talking about green Zoro, which is a great pick. Red Zoro is a sleeper pick. But if you're confident with it, go for it. Ooh, chat. We'll see if they play the other top 4 rounder if they go into the finals. Because they only did top 8 today. And I feel like typically when they've done top 8, it's been showcasing both top 4 matches. So we'll see what they do here. I actually don't know what they're going to do. And I think they're showing the finals, chat, of this championship. That's our ace that we saw, and I think he's going to be going up against Emu, right? I don't think I recognize the other player. Yeah, I think Emu just had a really tough start to the game, and Ace just establishing the 3 new gates was just like nice. Like exactly what he wanted to do. Emu did not do what he wanted to do in the game for the most part, and Ace did exactly what he wanted to do. What'd you tech in Nami for Ace? So it looks like comparatively to the top 4 match, the order is going to be flipped a little bit. Ace going second in this matchup and Emu going first. We saw our Emu player in the top 4 round have a really tough time on the draws. So we'll see if this game is a little bit more even to start between these two players. I think that these are their starting hands. These are not their mulligan hands that they're going into. I could be wrong about that. Ooh, put a koala in. Wait, what? Oh, in Sabo? Because 1-cost koala doesn't work in Nami. I think you're talking about Sabo. Yeah, UP Luffy did lose in top 4, chat, unfortunately. And so, Emu, this hand is awful. Oh my goodness. This could be a quick finals, chat. 3 equilibriums. This must be a mulligan hand because I would put these back so fast. If this was my starting hand, this has to be a mulligan hand. This has to be a hand that he unfortunately has to deal with. 3 equilibriums, Mary Joie, when you put out the empty throne stage at the beginning of the game, and Marcus Mars. The Marcus Mars could be nice in case the ace player does play something like Yamato or Marco, right? You're going to be able to remove it off the field. But, wow. The ace player doesn't have the most incredible hand, but he has searches to be able to find different key pieces of the puzzle. So his hand looks infinitely better than the Emu's. But holy moly, chat. This could be an interesting game. We are one bad search from a very interesting game. Although Ace, though, what I will say is he has 3 searchers and 2 Otamas that will instantly draw him cards. Ace, in my opinion, does have the better hand, but he is like 1 search away from also having a terrible game. Oh, I didn't put the official link on. Oh my gosh, you're right. Holy cow, give me like 5 seconds. I knew I forgot to do something before stream. Thank you for calling that out. There we go. I got the official link in the description. I appreciate you, Goose Games. All right, Emu starting out for turn is definitely going to be using his leader effect. Pitching the Mary Joie. What does he draw as he passes off for the turn? It looks like a 10-drop Elder. So the 10-drop Elder is nice, but it's not very nice when you don't have the Elders set up. So we'll see how the rest of the game goes. The Ace player accidentally reveals a card in the top 5. It was definitely not malicious, but the judge letting him look at that top 5 is going to grab a 10-drop Newgate, putting the rest to the bottom of the deck, and probably the Gum Gum Red Rock, now that it is revealed to both players, probably more than likely just going to the top of the deck. Yeah, very easy solution, right? Please be careful when you're doing your searches, and now is just going to do another Ezo search. So Ezo now looking at the top 5. We know one of those cards not going to be able to be grabbed off of the Ezo has a 4-drop Marco. So Ace now does have plays that he can do in the coming turns. And so Marco is probably going to be what's played in the next turn, passing off to the Emu, especially with the Ezos, right? Ezos are a great searcher to have at this point in the game for the Ace, because with the Ezos, you can use that opponent's attack effect to be able to draw 1 card and bottom deck 1 card, filter the hand a little bit. Emu, starting out with the Searcher event, is going to find a Saturn, a Nuzjuro, and also a Jupiter. So does find a couple Elders to be able to utilize, does find the Saturn to be able to utilize. Definitely one of the better Elders to have, and now off of leader effect with the Equilibrium is going to draw into a Shalria. So the hand is starting to come together for both players. We're going to have probably a fair game if anything. And so it's going to depend on this Emu player if he wants to swing 6 or 7 with lead, and is going to swing a 6. Is going to force a card out of hand, ace using his leader effect and passing off the turn, leaving 1 Dawn open, maybe for his equilibrium, deciding not to play the Shalria. So going in, now ace swinging 6,000 power is just going to go ahead, use that equilibrium event, stay healthy on the life, now playing the Marco. The good thing about the even curve, if you're the Emu player, is that if Marco goes down right now, right on potentially a block, that does mean that you only get to draw 2 cards because there's no Dawn ×1 on ace. And so does have the Saturn now. It did pick up, I believe that's a PRBO2 2K Sabo that he drew for turn. So now on 5 Dawn, can use the empty throne for the Saturn, but starts off swinging 6 at lead, keeps him guessing at this point. Does counter 2K out with Otama to stay at a full 3 life. Oh, I'm sorry. No, can use the leader effect because that's not the Dawn ×1. The draw is the Dawn ×1. It's easy to mix up. I mix those up sometimes. But yeah, the Dawn ×1 is the draw. And so starts out with a shower. You're good, Vimir. You're good. Starts out with the draw on the Shalria. Does have a couple options that he can utilize with the 10 Elders and also the Charlos. Can't grab the Shirahoshi at this point. Looks like his 2K package in this version of the deck, not being the Navy version, but being the Shirahoshi and the PRB Sabo. And so is thinking about grabbing the Charlos and not the 10-drop Elders. Does already have one in hand, but maybe is thinking about, is maybe thinking about grabbing a second one. The second one could be nice if you don't find any more in this game, right? As we saw in the top 4 round, not many 10-drop Elders played at that point. Still has to pitch one for the Shalria effect, is going to be the Equilibrium. And now using leader effect to pitch the Shalria, draw 1 more card. Does find a War Curie right now. So tapping the 3 is more than likely playing this Saturn. Saturn going to be able to look at that top 5. That top 5 is going to find a couple different options. Could find another Saturn to continue the searching. Does also see originally it was never there. Is going in with that. Bottom decking 2 of these Saturns. Originally, it was never there. A great event card, right? Being able to give plus 4,000 power on the field. And now we pass into the Ace's turn. Yo, what up, Wins? How are you? Well, Spartan, in OP13, GP Luffy gets a boost in that new blocker Nami. And so starting out with the Garp is going to be looking at that top 5, maybe looking for something like a Yamato to play on this turn. Does have a Jozu that the 8-cost event that he is going to grab. Just going to set himself up for the coming turns after he goes to 8. And now he's got 5 Dawn to work with on this turn. Does not have much that he can do at this point, except maybe attach Dawn and go in with swing. Might go ahead and play this other Ezo to maybe find like a second Marco to be able to utilize. I think we just bottom decked a Marco, so only 2 left, I think, at this point. I've seen some people say that Croc is not bad of a deck, for sure. And so is going to go in with that Ezo, try to find a Whitebeard Pirate card. Does only find a event and Jozu, so ends up going for the second of his events in hand. So now with the swing on the Marco is going to be 7,000 power. Aren't some GP Luffys? I feel like I've seen some GP Luffys play another searcher, but I can't remember what that searcher is. That's not a Nami searcher. Am I crazy? And so is going to go 2K, 1K to get out of that 7,000 power swing. Now a swing with lead is going to decide between 7 and 9 how much he wants to actually go. Is going to be 7 to take a life. Is going to be no trigger, be a Nuzjuro. I think he's got access now to all 5 elders at this point. As we see Marcus Mars and Nuzjuro in the hand, Warcury and Jupiter in the trash, and Saturn on the field. So he's going to be set up in the coming turns. Looks like going to be a relatively even game. Now going in with the Otama playing over the Ezo. I would have maybe thought that he would have played over the Garp instead of the Ezo, but maybe trying to utilize, as we saw in the previous games, potentially a 5K swing with Garp in the future turns after a 10-drop Newgate. So pitching the Red Rock not needed in this matchup. Emu now going to 9 Dawn still, or is it 7 Dawn? Actually, 7 Dawn, I'm sorry. 7 Dawn still can't play the 10-drop Elder, but could go in and play something like the Marcus Mars or Nuzjuro, right, to be able to get rid of this Marco on the field and minimize the amount of swings that he's going to take in the next turn. I could have sworn there was a 1-drop leader in a list I saw. I don't know if it was Trafalgar Law, but I feel like there was a 1-drop leader that I saw. Or a 1-drop searcher. Is going to go ahead and play the Nuzjuro off of the empty throne. Nuzjuro going to be able to minus 2,000 power somewhere on the board, more than likely this Marco. And so now is going to go ahead and I think swing and minus at that Marco. Is going to be drawing 3, 2 from the Marco and 1 from the Dawn ×1 leader effect. Still has 1 Dawn left open. The 3 netting him, I think, an Ezo, 10-drop, Newgate, and Garp. So now a 6,000 swing at lead with leader is just going to be a 1K Jozu. Jozu not needed in this matchup because you can't remove anything off the field. Another 1K Yamato on that final 6,000 power swing. And now leader effect going in and drawing a card, a Warcury for a Warcury. Yeah, you would forfeit your leader ability, so I don't know if it was law. I'll try to figure it out and tell you guys in Discord. And so is going in now on his 8 Dawn turn, playing out that I am Whitebeard event on curve. I think is thinking about whether or not he wants to take a life and go up to 8,000 power. In the last several weeks, right, in this EB03 format, we've seen more and more players utilize that second effect on the 8-drop. Just being an 8,000 power leader is so beneficial in so many situations, but does not opt for it this time around. Is thinking about what to pitch, is eyeing up the Jozu, right? Still has 2 events in hand, could utilize with leader effect, and now attaching the 2 Dawn, 2 leader, and a character. Is thinking about where he wants to attach to a character. He does have to do it, I think, or maybe has the option to with the up 2. He's just opting not to do it because you can't swing at anything. Even if you attach the 2 to Garp, is going to go ahead with an 8,000 power swing. And now, using the originally it was never there, is going to keep his bodies on the live and no life taken on this turn. Is going to have a couple swings that he can do now at this ace. Now is going to a 9 Dawn turn. Still can't play the 10-drop, but you can have a couple bodies onto the field and a little bit of searching, as I see with that 1-drop event. Does have a Warcury in hand, so could establish a blocker. Yeah, I think the list that I've seen of GP, they drop Mary Go. And they play the promo Robin, and I think they play the Nami as well. Is going to go ahead with that event. Search the top of the deck for a card. Maybe looking for something like a Jupiter, something with a little bit of counter on it, or maybe a Jupiter to play to be able to make these 7,000 power swings, and you don't have to invest any Dawn onto the Saturn or Nuzjuro to be able to go in at lead. And so is going to go for a 10-drop Elder. His third 10-drop Elder in there. And he says, I am not going to miss 10-drop Elder. It's hard to tell, Penguin Dragon, because we'll be in the OP13 format when EB03 comes out. And now the Nuzjuro swinging 8,000 power at lead is going to force 2 cards or a block and is just going to go, or I'm sorry, he has 6,000 power at lead. There is no Jupiter on the field. 6,000 power at lead is just going to be a 1K counter out of that swing. And another 6,000 power going at the ace leader. Does have another 1K in the Garp and Ezo if he wants to do it. Still healthy at 3 life. And the potential for a free block is going to go with the 1K there. And the empty throne probably going to be used after a Saturn swing. And so now with the empty throne is going to play that Warcury out onto the field and passes off the turn. Does not swing with the Saturn at this point. Wants to leave specifically 3 Dawn up, even though does not have any counter events in hand. Did not want to go in with the Saturn swing because it's a very simple block from the new gate. Now you get to keep your Saturn as active, and Ace now can't swing into it at this point. And so Ace now having another 10 drop out on the field is going to use the event and play out the 10 drop, playing over the Otama, leaving 2 Dawn as active, and now is once again thinking about drawing from the life to be plus 2,000 power. Didn't do it the first time. Now with only a 3-card hand, is opting not to do it once again. The draw 2 trash 1 going to leave him with 1 card in hand. Pitches the Yamato after finding a Yamato and Otama. Now attaching the 2 Dawn is going to go to Garp and Ace. Now with the 2 active Dawn that you have, you can swing a little bit bigger with the Garp. The 5,000 power swing going at the Nuzjuro is going to collect the knockout to start. And now the big swing coming in at lead at 8,000 power, leaving up 1 Dawn as active. Is going to go ahead and block with the Warcury and draw 1 card, and a new gate coming in with the 12,000 power swing is going to put Emu down to 2. Ace still at 3 life, and now an Ezo coming in to play over the Garp is going to be very, very healthy, but maybe thinking about keeping this Garp onto the field, right? Especially if he can find another 10-drop Edward Newgate. Maybe you want the Garp on the field to be able to swing potentially another 5 with that other event that you have in the hand, but opts to not keep him on the field. And so Ezo now going in, looking at this top 5, does find a Marco as well as, I think that was a 10-drop Newgate. It was. So now he's going to have a 3rd Newgate to play on the turn. The Emu player bigging his eyes, right, making them very, very large. And it's going to be a tough one, I think, at this point for Emu. But now you get to do your 10 Dawn turn, and with your 10 drop Elders, now you're going to be able to get the Exodia out onto the field. Yeah, Mars is such a big counter to a lot of stuff in this format. That's why I like playing Mars in my Red-Black Sabo. I think Nami is the better of the 2 between Nami and Vivi for sure. But it's a little hard to tell right now because we're coming into OP14. And one of the things that I think about is, does Boa replace Nami in the format? And so Emu now starting out with the 6,000 power swing is just going to be a 1K counter off the Yamato, now drawing for turn. Hurts him not to have the Jupiter on the field. Jupiter being able to force so many cards with just 1 Dawn on your characters. Starts out with the empty throne to immediately go into the 10 cost. The 10 cost now on the effect, resting 1 additional Dawn and trashing 1 card, is going to be able to get all 5 Elders out onto the field. And I think at this point you have to pitch the Marcus Mars to be able to have all 5 Elders in the trash. I don't think we had seen a Marcus Mars yet in the trash or no, we did. I'm sorry. Marcus Mars just being the best option to be able to get rid of. So now Saturn is going to be going ahead on the draw. Can only find a 5 Elders, so does have to grab Jupiter, Marcus Mars, or I believe that is a Warcury there. Opts for the Jupiter. Nice 2K in the hand. Yeah, ace going very aggressive. Yo, what's up, Kim? How are you? I don't know. There's been a lot of people in Japan that have been hyping up Boa. So I don't know. I think Dracula Mihawk's the best out of them all, though. And so Nuzjuro going ahead with an 8,000 power swing, right? Because Jupiter puts him at 7,000 power base, is going to go ahead and minus the new gate. And Ace going ahead and taking his first life, now drawing off of the leader effect. Only can expect one more swing on this turn from leader, which could lead to a free block. So passes off the turn, not swinging at leader, leaving all the Dawn open. Does have a couple counter events in hand to be able to utilize, but you don't want to opt for the free block. And so now Ace thinking about whether or not he wants to play the 10-drop new gate or the 9-drop new gate. We saw the Ace player in the previous round in the top 4 opt for 3 straight 10-drop blocker new gates, and so maybe eyeing up that play this time around, not utilizing the 9-drop. No, we did not proxy. We did not get reveals. Also, I hope you're having a good night. Well, we did get some reveals. We saw the Panda sleeves. We saw Panda Man sleeves, which chat got a kick out of. And I learned what Panda Man was. And so Ace now is going in with that third 10-drop new gate, as I mentioned before, is going to go ahead with that life taking to go down to 1, be an 8,000 power leader, now using the new gate effect of draw 2 and trash 1. Does find another 10-drop new gate, his 4th one, finding all 4 of them. No Goldie Roger as of yet. So after pitching that one, may see on the defensive side, finally utilizing some of these Ezos that are on the field with that on opponent's attack to maybe dig a little bit deeper to try to find Roger. So attaching the Dawn from the new gate effect to leader, and new gate is going to make Ace a 10,000 power swing at least, and new gate a 14,000 power swing. Yeah, the new gates are crazy. When Ace gets the new gates going, it's so tough. That's why Stussy is so good in some of these black decks. Oh, yeah, like, I think she has a different play style, but what I mean is terms of, like, when I say replace chat, what I mean is, like, the amount, like, popularity numbers. Like population density within a tournament. That's what I mean. I apologize. I know they do play different. They are 2 different decks. This is in the EB03 format. So yes, it's the OP13 EB03 format. Correct. And so attaching one more Dawn does have that plus 2,000 power, so is going to be an 11,000 power swing. Starts off with the War Curie block to draw 1 card. So the draw 1 coming in still has that 4 active Dawn. Is going to swing now with these blocker new gates, 12,000 power, going in at lead, it looked like. I don't think the Kuma is necessary in the Boa deck, to be honest. Boa very much feels like you run a very heavy Kuja Pirates build because of that leader effect of forcing your opponent to take life when your Kuja Pirate characters are KO'd, and like you want to play trigger bodies as well. That's what I think Boa really should lean towards. I don't know if it can play the Kuma, because Kuma's so hard to find. And so on that new gate swing is going to block with the Marcus Mars. Now the 14,000 power at lead is going to net a life. Pass off the turn. Lots of cards in the Emu's hand, right? Ace now sitting at 6 cards in hand, 1 life and 1 blocker active. But the 2 Ezos might be able to dig a little bit more. So here's the thing, especially with 3 new gates that have been drawn, the 4th one in the discard pile, can you afford to put Ace down to 0 at this point? Especially with Goldie Roger in the format and a card that Ace definitely plays at least one copy of. How much do you think that he has one in his hand right now is the real question. Was a gamble that we saw our Emu player take in the top 4 round. Now we'll see it again. Starts off with an 8,000 power swing and a 1K counter onto the Atmos to get out of that one. So using the leader effect, drawing 1 card. What is that card going to be? It looks like it's going to be a Shall Reel, a little bit of counter. Still a couple different swings before we do anything with playing our cards. You see a Saturn and a Jupiter. The Jupiter now swinging 8,000 power. But maybe he's thinking against it? Yeah, I really wonder why he hasn't used the Ezos yet. Like, he hasn't used Ezos on opponent's attack at all. And I'm wondering why. Because he's played over an Ezo. Yeah, Emu has a huge hand right now. Is going to go ahead, swing now 8,000 power with the Saturn, attaching 1 Dawn. So is just going to be 1 card to get out of this, right? You've got a couple 2Ks in hand. You've got a blocker on field, but ends up going down to 0. Is maybe trying to bait this Emu into going all in. Is going to take that life. Draw 2 Rogers. So not only finding 1 Roger, found 2 of them. So is going to be able to use it to swing at Emu. And so now Emu has to think about how much Dawn you leave open for events. How big do you continuously go at swings, right? You've got 3 potential swings left at the most with Jupiter, leader, and the Nuzjuro either off the 10 drop or from your hand on the empty throne. So what gives you the best odds of winning? An 8K leader in Ace is definitely very tough to go against, and so is going to use the empty throne to play the 10 cost Elder, and it looks like just going ahead and using the effect. So Ace now sitting in a prime position at this point, now sitting at 0 life. Emu playing down the 5 Elders, probably, if anything, looking for a counter event on this draw from the Saturn. Does not find a counter event at all. Does find a little bit of counter. The Jupiter being a 2K, but that's not the 4K originally. It wasn't there. And so with the 4 Dawn left open, you do have to commit 1 to be able to swing with the Nuzjuro. And if he minus the active new gate earlier in the turn on the first swing, then another Nuzjuro swing would be able to minus the new gate to 8,000 power. So no matter what, he has to give a card to be able to go in. So now our Ace player finally thinking about using the Ezos. So is going to do exactly that. Utilize this first emo to draw 1 card and bottom deck 1 card. Is going to bottom deck one of the 2 Rogers. I think it would be absurd to limit Roger and Pudding to 1, in my honest opinion. Most everybody plays either of those cards out 1, maybe 2 max anyways. I think limiting it to 1 wouldn't make sense, really. And so is going to use the second Ezo effect now. Just going to get them both out of the way. Bottom decking this Marco. Finds a lot of counter, I will say. Drew into 2 2Ks on the 2 Ezos, Kingdu and Uta. So especially if he's going to go all in with the Roger on the next turn. Only has to hit twice to be able to win this game. Emu, one thing that you do have to think about is Emu does have a lot of cards in hand right now. And so uses the 2K Thatch to get out of the turn. Passes off the turn. How much counter did Emu actually have in hand with the 3 Dawn as active? You do have to hit twice out of your 5 swings. You've got pretty good odds as the ace. But with all those cards in hand that he's built up, I will say I'd be shaking in my boots a little bit. Is he not thinking about playing the Roger on this turn? And so is going to go with the 9-drop Newgate. So 9-drop Newgate going to give him plus 2,000 power and 1 Dawn left to open. Does have the Pyrapple event that we saw in the previous game. Is going to be plus 3K power onto your leader, especially as he's an 8K leader. Just going to take this game a little bit slower to try to bleed out this Emu's hand. And so getting out of the attack with the originally it was never there. Thinking about swinging with these Newgates. Can you survive with the Newgates and says, you know what? I'm just going to hold. I'm going to pass off the turn. You have too many cards in hand. Next turn, he would definitely be able to get game, right? With 4 Newgates and a Roger. Yeah, 9-drop Newgate guarantees a win if he survives out of this turn. And because he has 4 2Ks and a 3K counter event, I don't know if he can lose. I think Ace had a pretty good shot of winning if he played Roger down onto the field, but with all the cards in hand from the Emu, I think he's trying to get out these counter events. And so getting out of that first swing with Kingdu, minusing 2,000 power on that Newgate that is in front of all the other ones. Now they're in time. So I think the Emu player has this turn, and then the Ace has another turn, and then that's it. That is the game, I think. So both players really got to go for game now at this point, I think. Unless Emu thinks he can hold on with 1 life. On the Jupiter swing, ends up blocking with the Newgate. Because the thing about Emu is, like some people in chat are saying, like Haras, if you get those events, right, and you bleed out those events, sure, he's got some 2Ks and 1Ks, but can that stop 3 12,000 power swings, a 10,000 power Newgate, and a Roger? So you want to try to bleed those out as much as possible. Ends up using leader effect to grab another 2K. And it looks like he's utilizing the empty throne to get a 10 cost out on the field. Maybe just banking that he doesn't have Roger. Does have still 2 blockers on the field. Is going to go with the Shalria on that activate main to be able to get the Najuro out once again. The Saturn now going in and drawing a card off of the search. Does find a 2K that you, or no, can't grab that 2K. Can only grab the Elders. So ends up grabbing a 1K. Still better than nothing. So is going to put that in hand and more than likely pass off the turn, right? Because the Nuzjuro just netting a free block. Especially with Ace playing out these blockers and then coming into this late game being an 8,000 power leader. We've seen it in back-to-back games by this top 4 player. Has proved to be so good against Emu. Is definitely a strategy if you're looking to improve your matchup against Emu in the Treasure Cups, in the regionals that are happening. Definitely something to take note of, in my opinion. So now passing off to Ace in the 10 Dawn turn. He's got Roger in hand. Does he slam it down? And he does. Roger now nullifying all the blockers. The 6,000 power swing at leads. Got plenty of 2Ks in hand so he can get out of this one. The 10,000 power at lead is going to be a 1-cost event to go to 9. And then a 2K to get out of that one. 12,000 power at lead. 3 Dawn open. Quick math, 7 cards in hand. Looks like it might be just a little bit too much for our Emu, but not before a fight with Equilibrium going 3,000 power. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to get out of that 12,000 power swing at 13. Another 12,000 power swing takes the life. He's laughing with the player. Does get a trigger for a search. We'll see if he finds a 1-drop event. I don't think it would matter in the end. It finds a Marcus Mars. The 13,000 power swing at lead is going to net Ace the win. A slow, methodical game by the Ace, right? Looked a little scary for both players, but both players kind of finding their rhythm exactly when they needed to in that game. But Ace just having a little bit more of an edge with those searchers in the beginning and really carrying out his game plan, right? Emu faltering a little bit, missing on some of those events. Had too many events early. Chat, that was the finals. Ace is going to be the winner for the final EB03 tournament of this format. Next week, in the Tokyo Championships, or the championships happening in Tokyo, it's going to be OP14. Yeah, Roger's the king of the pirates. I don't think that Roger's a problem. I just think that Roger makes endgames very interesting. Roger has never been a real card until OP13. Yeah, I think Roger's fine. If people were playing like 4 of Roger's in decks, then I would say, okay, maybe Roger's a little bit of a problem. If like every good deck was red and was playing 4 copies of Roger, then I'd be like, okay, maybe we should do something about Roger. But there's only like 1, 2, potentially 3 red decks. And 3 is really stretching it, because that would be Ace, Roger, and Sabo. And Sabo's barely in the conversation. Roger's barely in the conversation. So it's really just Ace. Shanks was not a real deck. I refuse to believe that Shanks was a real deck. Shanks was a fake deck, chat. That's my honest, hot opinion. Shanks was fake. Yes, Sugar did win Dum Dum Clip. Yes, this player played Sugar. He won. Just kidding, he was playing Ace. Give Emu unblockable. Isn't that the matter of making all of your 5,000 power bodies 7,000 power and then one having rush, one having a removal effect, and they all have a unremovable effect? They always wear gloves, Casanova. I mean, sure, he was used in Shanks prior to OP13. Just Shanks was not a good deck like Ace is. Shanks was nowhere near as good as Ace, in my opinion. Roger is only really getting limelight because Ace is a good deck, but Roger is not the reason that Ace is so good, in my opinion. Like, if Roger was the reason that Ace was a tier 0 deck, that's a whole different conversation. But I don't think Roger is the reason for that. I think the 10-drop Newgate is the reason for that. Roger just kind of like slams home the game. He's the finisher. He's the perfect finisher. He's not the reason that the deck is broken. He's the gut punch at the end of the game. I mean, it is what it is, James. I mean, everybody's going to complain. I don't know if Shanks was top 1 in OP10. Probably. But it still wasn't a real deck, in my opinion. And I still don't think it was as good as Ace. I will stand on that. Shanks was never as good as Ace is. Yeah, they're the top 2 decks because they have insanely good cards. They're the top 2 decks, and they're the top 2 decks because they're so much better than everybody else. I think Bonnie's a pretty good deck. It's just Bonnie is like very like hit or miss, it feels like. Red Green Luffy is so cool, Lysol. I love watching that deck. Also, Portgas TCG. I don't know if I said hi to you. Hello. No, I think Luffy Taro, it's the other way around. I think Ace is pretty beatable, pretty exploitable. But I think Emu is much more difficult to beat. Which is why I think Emu is the best deck in format. It's just when Ace and Emu match up against each other, I think it's pretty even. Which is why I think they're the 2 best decks in format. Ace player Hendrock knew he was going to win. This is a morning cup of coffee for him. He knew he was going to win the whole time. Yeah, like here's the thing, like in playing Sabo against Ace, if I Stussy 2 turns in a row, the game is over. I never lose, right? And I think the same can be said about like Red Rock. If you Red Rock 2 Newgates in a row, you just win. Oh, here's another championship that's happening on January 12th. I need to note this date. Take a screenshot of that. The SCC Croc is so funny. Yo, good luck in the local tournament, Wink. Wins? Wait, is Red Black Sabo going to play the new Secret Rare Crocodile? Are you kidding me? Is that real? Seriously? Yeah, I think I think as the meta has evolved, chat, and we've gone longer and longer in OP13, I think Ace players have figured out how to exploit the matchup way better. Like, I think, who was it? Was it Jelly Beans? Was he the one that was talking about how, yeah, like Jelly Beans, which in Malaysia, who made numerous top cuts, chat, in championships. Ace always has an advantage into Emu because Ace can actually play the game going first. This was not the take at the beginning of OP13. This was, like, people did not think this at the beginning of OP13. I think what happened over time as we got longer and longer into OP13 is Ace players figured out how to play the matchup. I think over time, people figured out how to do it. And so I think that's what the difference is. And I think that's why you see, like, in this championship and like the last championship, I think it was, how Ace became the most populous in the tournament in terms of a population. Unfortunately, that didn't always translate into top 16, right? Because almost always Emu was the number one populous deck in top cuts, at least for these Japan championships. I don't know about Malaysia and stuff like that off the top of my head, but I think Ace players just got better. They figured out the matchup, because I think Ace just in the matchup has more flexibilities about what you can do. But then, chat, you have someone like Guan Rong, right? Who, what was it? He literally won 3 major championships in 8 days with Emu. So I think that this is a very, like, high skill meta, right? Like, Jellybean's a fantastic player on Ace, can probably beat most Emus. But I also think that Guan Rong, the first ever world champion, can beat most Aces. And he even lost in the 3v3 here. I don't know if you guys can see, actually. You can. Even in this 3v3, he lost to Ace twice. But then he swept everybody else. So I think that's the big thing about this meta. He said he doesn't... Yeah, Guan Rong said he doesn't care about winning dice. Because he's just that good of a player. He is just that cracked. And he's playing stuff like this one-cost Navy event, which I think is a really, really cool tech. I think this format in general is high skill. I don't think it's just Emu. I think this format in general is high skill. Like, I think that's why you saw Guan Rong win these 3 championships in 8 days. That's why you saw Jelly Beans top cut multiple of these championships consecutively or whatever, you know? I think that this is a very high skill format. I know. I hope one day, James, that I can play against Guan Rong. Because I feel like it would be the craziest loss that I've ever seen. For me. Your only loss on the day. Well, that's a loss that you don't mind taking. Chad, here's the winning deck list. I will post this in our Discord server. I'll just save this to... I'll post this in our Discord server now, chat. Oh my gosh, it's only 1:20 a.m. Pacific time. Pretty traditional, I feel like. I like the move that people are doing of Kingdu as of late. He's playing 3 Rogers. That's on the high side, actually. No, because not many people playing 3 Rogers. This is the first time I feel like in a while that I've seen 3 Rogers. I've only really seen 2 at most. But I will say 3 Rogers is pretty high. Then here's the second placed Emu deck, chat. Second place Emu. Bam. 1 Charlos, 3 of the Majo's Guard, and 2 Sabos. So basically switched out the Charlos for more 2Ks. Right? Pretty much. Ran 444. 2 Shirahoshis. Yeah, I feel like just kind of switched the Charlos for more Sabos in this list. Yeah, the Pyrapple event, chat. The Pyrapple, you rest 1 of your other Dawn cards, so you pay 2 Dawn in total. And if you do, you can bottom deck a 3,000 power or less character on your opponent's side. And then on the counter, it's plus 3k to your leader for the battle. So it's pretty nice a lot of times, I will say, against this guy right here. This guy right here is very, very good. In Zoro, Green Zoro, bottom decking the Koshiro is pretty good. I wouldn't take sim stats to heart, Noah. But it may be a favorable matchup, but I would be shocked if it was 70 to 80. Yeah, it's a really good event in Zoro. I like it a lot. But chat, that is going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for joining me on this stream. There's Gavin, coolest guy I know. I wish I had his job. But I wish he kept his job if I had his job. Anyways, chat, if you like the stream, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever it is on your platform. For some of the followers that we got over on Twitch, Bonizia, Anime Fan, It's, Genesis, Flash, and MSI. Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. I super appreciate it. And chat, thank you for hanging out in the stream today. I am going to hurry up, get the top 8 video out on YouTube, and then go to bed because it is 1:20 in the morning for me. It is pretty late. So chat, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. If you didn't see, I posted 2 YouTube videos today that you can watch if you haven't already. I posted a set review of OP13, and then on top of that, I posted about the EB04 cards that were revealed. If you haven't seen the EB04 cards, make sure to go check it out. I will put it in the chat for both of you. Thank you, Genesis. I appreciate it. I work hard. It is my full-time job, if anyone who does not know. My literal only job is to do YouTube content. So I try my best for you all. But anyways, chat, thank you so much for watching. We'll have more YouTube videos up soon on the channel. I got some OP13 fun content planned and also a little bit of OP14 content planned in the future. Thank you again so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next stream. And OP14 championships next week, chat. OP14. Get excited.